5 guys inside that room.
Hold on, Alpha. Let me check the schematics and see if there's another entry point.
No time for that. Going loud.
Last year, one of your CIA Shepherd teams infiltrated a maximum security prison. Their target was an operative, identified by the code name Maras. All I want to know is the name of the man who led this mission.
I guess we're in for a long night. Because I don't know shit.
Einstein's team was tasked with retrieving this man, Ivan Fedorov, an agency asset investigating a new radical separatist group in Estonia. We have just under 2 hours to figure out how to get inside that warehouse, find Fedorov, and get the fuck out in one piece.
Look around you, Frost. Does this look like headquarters to you? This looks and sounds like a bullshit rush job.
You were foolish enough to send spies into my country. And as you can see, they have failed miserably. Ryan and Drake.
Better hope this isn't a trap. Because if those assholes don't kill you, I will.
The only people dying today are those fuckers. All of them.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Oh, another good day at Nerdrotic. Cheers, mate. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
I want to purge 30,000 of my subscribers off my channel within the next 48 hours. Go and find one of your echo chamber websites where you can all stand around and jerk each other off while you tilt your head back and go, woke, woke, and then you can come on each other's faces and tell each other that come on your face. What cleanses you of wokeness? Woke, jerk each other off. Woke, come on your face.
You jerk off? Do I jerk off? Yeah. Yeah, I jerk off, yeah.
How many times a week?
Like, three, four times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day.
Wow.
There were only a couple good people in this movie. You had Bruce Wayne, Batman, and you had Alfred. Those are the only two good white people. The rest of the three other major players that I would consider like overall like moral good people were, you had Jim Gordon, who's black in this. You had Catwoman, who's not white in this, and then you had the mayor, who's a black woman. Again, very much on the nose for current day Hollywood. Did not like that. Took a little bit off the score for me.
Daddy from Nerdrotic, keep me in comics room. Hey.
I don't understand why it's so short.
Fuck that shit.
Shut up and do my math, woman.
Disparu in his final form. That was wonderful.
Yeah, right. Get down in a modeling career. Everyone needs a side gig.
Oh my god.
What have they done to you, Disparu?
That's a Rolling Stone.
There was an article the other day. It said the average YouTuber's career lasts just a few years. They need to get into mainstream television and entertainment. So, yeah.
Really?
I thought I'd try my hand at something else.
You're just diversifying your income.
Did that article come out before or after the one where they said YouTube was the #1 streamer for the entire year?
Yeah, that was. I think it was the 50 things that the THR still loves about Hollywood, which in one case just included a seat at a bar and said
and
some
the
people
bagels
walk around the city.
Yeah,
and
those good
bagel
bagels. Yeah. We won't get into that. Hey, welcome to Friday Night Tights. That was a great intro. That was like old school Perry Chan.
Dude, Ryan complaining about good black people while a black woman is hitting the window while Dire Docs is playing in the background
on Black History Month.
That is the weirdest, most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life.
Woo! I love you, Perry.
Days of Black History Month.
Like while it's going on, like everybody's laughing. I'm listening to like the Ryan's, and I'm like, somebody playing Mario music.
Like, how can we make this weirder? Well, Perry finds a way.
Man. That's what I was missing. If I had had that music in the original video, I wouldn't have gotten any backlash.
Well, some of your most viewed videos are not on your channel, Ryan. So
it's true.
Aswin knows something about that.
The best part of it was while we're all laughing and just going, Ryan is just sitting there with the most like fuck you look, like right there. He's just sitting there. Like he's not reacting. He's not.
That's his resting face.
Just sitting there in misery, like his order just got messed up at a fast food joint.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, Ryan must not even be watching." I was like, "No, I was watching."
Resting disgruntled face. What's up, Today Cobra?
What's up? Ready for another Friday Night Tights? And I actually watched a little bit of The Last Airbender.
Wow.
Shockingly
You did
enough.
some of your homework? I am shocked.
Listen, if it was made by Marvel, I wasn't going to watch that bullshit because it's not like I need to, make a decision. It's going to be shit. But this one, I got some things to say. I didn't hate it. I don't know a lot about the lore, but I know that there was a live action Last Airbender that was legendarily horrific years and years ago that was infamous. But yeah, so I got a few things to say about this one.
Right
Let's get
on.
this party started.
So do I, because I've seen all 8 episodes. But first, Az from Heel versus Babyface, or Heels versus Babyface.
Oh, I'll fucking cut you, bitch.
Okay, someday. If it makes it through customs.
Yeah. What you want?
What type of knife is that, Az?
The sharpest thing they allow in your country is a fucking butter knife.
I know, right? And they're still killing people with them.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Dude, there was talk about, correct me if I'm wrong, Az, weren't they trying to curb the knife violence by like limiting people having knives in your country?
Yeah. they were trying to stop the purchase of kitchenware.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not even joking. They were trying to get down like meat cutting knives. Nah, you're not allowed to cut meat no more. You're gonna be eating bugs anyway, so it don't matter. So,
I feel like banning people with the first name Mohammed might do more than banning knives.
There we go.
The nice video going around at the moment. Matthew Masters just shared it. Just people on a bus in Stockwell in the UK, and they just drive past. There's a massive machete fight going on.
It is true. Mohammed's more problems.
I know it's Black History Month in America, and I don't want to offend people more than Google Gemini does. But
That's something special.
Let's just play who has the knives and who's macheting each other. I'm just going to move to Russia for a quiet life for me.
Are either of them named Ian? No.
Did you say you're moving?
Ian, as much as somebody's named David who works in an Indian call center.
Okay.
Did you say you're moving to Russia?
For calling British Cat. My name is Dad Stephen. How can I help you? You are not Stephen. You stop it. I managed to piss gay Twitter off this week because
you were talking. Wait. Is it because you were tweeting about a bunch of flags?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, they were swastikas, but you gotta.
I'll give myself one there. Thank you. Thank you.
Because apparently food's always been gay, and when you go food shopping in a supermarket, you should go down on your knees and worship the far left ideological god of sucking another man's cock. So gay Twitter got a little bit annoyed with me. And I'm just thinking to myself, 7 million views on it now. Let's go, Elon. Come on, baby.
Hey,
come on, baby.
$25.
Yeah, you might get a sandwich out of that.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna be able to go back to that gay place and spend your money again.
I know, right?
I think I'm going to move from $41 every 2 weeks to maybe $45 this week.
Yeah, baby. Oh, moving on
now.
Yeah, boy.
To the other side.
That's it.
That's it.
And I didn't watch any of The Last Airbender because I don't give a shit.
Okay. That's all right.
You're moving to Russia, though,
Yeah,
and from what I understand from Google Gemini, it's a very diverse country.
Yeah.
It's very diverse. Very
I'm a
diverse.
black president over there.
Man.
Did you know that Stalin was a black guy? I would have never guessed.
I think it's such a colossal disaster. It is fucking comedy.
It's glory.
Just ask Google Gemini to show you a white person. It fucking breaks. It
Oh,
just
no, I know this as I did a whole thing where I was trying to get it to generate a white scientist from the 1800s, and it literally refused to do it. I asked it why it wouldn't do it, and it gave me a bunch of reasons why, and it was all around DEI. It was so fucking hilarious.
My favorite was the vanilla desserts, and so that's why that's racist.
Wow.
It literally got down on its knees and started apologizing, going, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to be racist, but I can't help it. I'll try and find other various ingredients that can fix it."
Yeah, there you go. It's
There you
lovely,
go.
isn't it?
It's really accurate.
Apparently, it gets chocolate desserts a treat. Google Gemini.
I hear Justin Trudeau is feeling relieved because of Gemini hating all white people.
Yeah.
I just brought up a regular image.
Okay, nice. Everyone can wear blackface now.
He can see himself now.
Yeah.
I like how in that
Bring that back.
image you
Bring
just
that
pulled
back.
up, diverse as looks just like Wiz Khalifa, that guy that won't go down on women.
God damn. Ryan looks like a demon child.
On
Oh,
meth.
it's not Wiz Khalifa. Well, they all do.
I'm just happy I've got hair.
Gosh.
Who's the one that
It looks like
won't go
that
down
rap
on
producer does, and another one.
Yeah.
And another one.
Yeah. What's his name?
DJ Khaled?
Khaled. Yeah, that's right. He says his name in every song.
That's who
Well,
I
don't they
meant
all
to
say their name in every song now?
Yeah.
A lot of them do, yeah.
You three make pretty convincing black people. Do you have
Yeah,
the
it's not
Edward
bad.
cast now?
Yeah, the chat's got it though. It does
Always
look,
did.
That does
Well-
look like Black Zelensky is what that looks like.
Oh my God, right.
Black Sinsky.
Unfortunately, way too tall, Jeremy. Way too tall.
Stop
for that.
it. It's Black History Month. Stop it.
Look back in my
Girl looks
family
pretty
tree,
normal.
Shad.
X-ray girl looks
And,
totally normal. Yeah.
I did look back in my family tree, Shad, and I did find that, and I was really proud about this, just coming from a long line of slave traders.
I still can't tell. Is that black or not?
Now, admittedly, that just means my granddad worked for Disney, but my grandma also worked for Apple, so I was like, oh god, I had tears. I was so proud.
Oh, hello,
man.
Shad. How are you?
Hey, Gary. I've got great. This week has been wild with the Gemini stuff and then Avatar dropping. I got to watch the whole season. I have thoughts and things to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll hold back until we get into it.
All right. So do I. What's up, Ryan?
God, it's so stupid.
I have never been more thankful for my own ears until I've seen it.
Nothing. I watched an episode and a half about of Avatar. I'm not attached to the anime, never seen it, never saw the other live action, so I'm like coming to a fresh perspective, and I don't know, it's kind of meh for me so far. But
Yeah.
I've heard that the first couple episodes is the best ones, and then it kind of goes downhill.
Way downhill.
Hard.
Yes. Really hard. What's
Listen, I'm just glad it's the last Friday of February. All right, I'm kind of ready to be over with this month for personal reasons.
Can't imagine why.
can't imagine, and it's leap year, so you're getting an extra day, buddy. But
Yeah.
we'll make it through. And hey, Ryan, I have to ask you, why wouldn't they release the American Society of Magical Negroes in February?
I don't know. I mean, it feels like they could have captured a Black Panther type of, audience for something like that, but really a big marketing fumble by them. I don't know.
They're not late. That would be racist.
Everyone loves white racism month.
I love it.
I've never heard so much enthusiasm in Ryan's voice in my life.
What's up, Comics Division?
Oh man, this Gemini thing is just been fucking hilarious. I know I've already talked about that, but it was a lot of fun messing with that. Yeah, watched the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not super impressed, not super down on it. Of course, I haven't watched the entire thing yet to completely crap on it yet. So, yeah, this should be a lot of fun talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Most shit with children in it just sucks. Like, just to be honest.
I mean, the acting is, it was pretty mediocre. I found to be kind of meh. Like you
It's
said.
not just the children. It's
No,
almost
no.
every single actor in the show.
yeah, you're right. It's not just the children, but
It may
other
be
thing
the
too-
directing. I don't know if it's the directing
It might be the
specifically.
showrunner who's just way in over his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Odin?
What's going on? I was able to watch an episode and a half of the show, episode 1 on 1.5 speed. It still felt so long. Just, we're going to talk about it tonight, but glad to be here as always. Damn you, Perry Chan.
Yeah. Christy Mayer, hello. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. It's so good to be here. I was a little confused about the homework, so I rewatched the Avatar movie and I watched 1997's Air Bud. So I feel like about a dog who plays basketball. So I feel ready.
Okay,
Quidditch-
it's a better
Quidditch-
movie. Airbud is a better movie. Okay. Thanks for being here, Mama.
Yay.
And our special guest, your favorite lesbian and mine,
Garrett. Yeah, great to be back.
So brave.
I enjoyed Avatar because it made me feel like I needed my glasses, even though I'm wearing my glasses. Not only do you have the background out of focus, but there's literally a scene where it cuts about 10 times in 10 seconds, and every single cut is out of focus and then goes into focus. And then they choose to a different perspective and do the same thing over again. The fight scenes are blurry. I can barely see anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it felt a lot like Percy Jackson to me, and I hated that as well. But it did really well, so who knows with this one? Maybe it'll trend.
I think it'll do well, and I think actually a lot of people are going to end up liking it because they have been used to Marvel so far. So
it's very Marvel-esque.
Do you mean the Percy Jackson TV series?
Yeah, the one on Disney Plus recently.
Yeah, that's
I couldn't stand that. But
have you read the series, like the Percy Jackson series?
No.
All right, so the Percy Jackson, I actually really like the series, and especially the series comes after that, Heroes of Olympus. But the movies they did were like horrifically terrible adaptations. The Disney Plus series is a way better adaptation, but virtually every fucking person is race swapped. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But like from Chiron, like even race swapped Chiron's fucking horse body. They like Zeus, like everybody's fucking race swapped. All right. It is a better adaptation, like absolutely. But there's a lot of things that bother me about it though too. So it's kind of like in between the horrific adaptation of the movies and how good the books actually are.
It wasn't one of those things where I thought this is bad. It was just kind of meh, and so I didn't feel the need to watch it. And I think those are worse. If it's just middle of the road, then I tend to ignore it rather than the extremes.
Those are impossible. Like, because what are you going to do? 10 minutes of like, it's fine, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like there's always something better to watch than that show.
Yes,
is what I felt.
Avatar's
Hey
not
Gary,
better,
I'm here
though.
too.
I was just about. Did somebody say something?
He's trying to save it.
Damn.
Now.
On the last week of Black History Month.
Hey, we made it very,
employee.
fucking clear that you only got 1 week, and that was the first week, motherfucker. You got last week off. What the fuck?
That was for Black History Month as well.
I went on your show, didn't I?
You did, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was a good show.
All right,
I think
that's
people
enough
liked
out
it.
of you.
Even February's really getting to Black History Month this year. It's added an extra day.
Yeah,
this is true. How you doing, Quarter Black Garrett?
Hey, you know, after a whole week of smashing bugs that have a hive mind, and of course I'm talking about communists.
Yeah.
I had to watch the horrible show Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was a massive fan of the show. It was a major event in my household. My whole family loved it, so it was really horrible to watch it get fucked again. And it was like you said, the first episode, mid, bad acting, pretty robotic. Storytelling is very obvious, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until it's just complete garbage by the end.
So do you think the second episode got, because I mean, I'm only halfway through the second episode. I was enjoying the second episode more than the first episode, just on acting and the world and just trying to understand what's going, because again, don't know anything about this, but the first episode, the acting was painful. Like it was painful. All right. And the just the way that everything looked from the backgrounds, like it was so bad. But
yeah,
I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, okay, just maybe I don't understand. Again, I've never seen the cartoon. I've never seen the live action. Know nothing about it. So I'm like, I don't know if there's something I'm missing. So we got into the second episode, and the acting, I don't know. It felt more like they were connected. There was better chemistry in the second episode. I don't know if that was just me. But the world, I was at least starting to get invested in the world a little better. And again, I'm only halfway through the second episode, but is that an episode you thought started to fall back to? Because I was more interested after when the second episode started.
The first two kind of are on the same level for me. The acting is poor throughout the entire series. I think there's a couple of scenes in the second episode where the sets, at least, are kind of well done. Like they're in actual locations. They're not in the void. They're not on CGI sets. They're actually at a river that has water that's real. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But the way that they jumble the episodes is just haphazard, and it's confusing. And sometimes it literally just jumps into, now we're in a cave. Why are we in a cave,
dude? And we know
just to have the secret tunnel part. Like it's just
so. what this, without getting into spoilers, what this series is guilty of, and we've seen this with The Witcher. It's a Netflix thing, it's a Hollywood thing, is you have scenarios from the source material and you retool them to make them girl boss moments. Straight up girl.
Yes.
The Kyoshi thing was fucking ridiculous.
Kyoshi,
thing in the second episode. And it takes away from another avatar who Aang communicates with later. So it takes the impact away from that. So they take a lot of impact away from Katara, so many other characters that have earned fucking moments. And by the way, they tried to fit every theme from the entire show in one season, and they put the first 3 episodes are essentially the first episode, which is half a prequel that you never saw, like a prologue. They show the sorry, spoilers, but people talked about it. They show the last airbenders like getting murdered. So,
which I thought was a dumb decision. Like that undermined Aang's introduction.
Totally.
Like Aang had this. Yeah, he had this mystery about where did he come from, what happened, and the gradual reveal of him going back to the the airbenders and the temple and stuff had a lot of impact as a result in the cartoon. But by front loading it and having the prologue essentially there, completely ruined it. And also they went right into him just monologuing his motivations.
Dude, just like literally telling you exactly what's happening and how they feel about exactly what is happening. It's like,
and that is a consistent thing. Like it's a sign of really amateurish writing where they feel the audience is dumb and they got to spell everything out. And it really hit home. Like even the opening when the guy is confronting the emperor after he stole the thing, and they have to say, "Oh, you actually want us to know it is going to be a different." Yeah, I got that.
It is a ruse. Yeah. And they do it multiple times throughout the whole series. Multiple times. Like, it is a ruse. It was misdirection. It's like, we caught that. We totally caught that.
I think like watching it as someone who doesn't give a fuck about the original animated show, like the first episode was enough to be like, I'd probably leave this on and like let it play if I didn't have anything else going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found the acting a little bit like
it's wooden,
hollow or whatever, and I typically hate child actors like anyway. But the world was at least interesting enough. The idea that it's been 100 years since that happened. That was like, oh shit. Cause I was like, for that 10-minute period, I was trying to figure out what the fuck happened. But it was like okay, but I don't know. If I had had another 2 episodes and I really didn't get anywhere, I'd probably like set it down and not go back to it. That's how I felt.
The thing, somebody said this on Twitter, and I totally agree. It feels like whoever wrote this didn't ever watch the show, and they just heard it from somebody else tell them about their favorite parts of the show.
I wrote the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be that would make sense.
Like, with none of the setup. Like, give her for
like
an example.
Greatest hits. It's like a greatest hits. Yeah.
For example,
anthology.
And it's not even in chronological order. It's like greatest hits from random decades all mixed
from book
around.
2 and Korra. They mixed the stuff from Korra, dude.
Yeah. So my favorite character of the show was Boomy. Is a great episode. His best friend when he was a kid. The way they set that up in the cartoon is he shows up to the city, and he tells Katara and his friend, he goes, "Hey, I had this friend back when I was 100 years ago, and we played this and we did these things," and then they go off and have fun, and half the episode's like a silly fun episode, but then they get arrested and they get brought in front of the king.
My cabbages.
Right? Yeah, my cabbages, which they did in the show, but it's literally just quote. So they say quote.
Yeah.
And so they get brought in front of the king, and the king makes the Avatar do these trials, and he does the trials, and by the end of that episode, you find out that this king that was this old man, and he's grumpy and craggy, he was his best friend from when he was a kid, way in the back, and the king was teaching great reveal.
Yes.
He was explaining to him how to think about solving problems
differently
and different ways.
It was all a lesson.
Having fun with it. And this show completely the first introduction to Boomy is he shows up, he goes and he goes, "Oh, it's Boomy."
Yeah, they just do it automatically. They just reveal.
They missed the whole point of that character in that episode.
And the whole point of the episode was the reveal, and that he was teaching Aang lessons and preparing him for what's to come, because he knows he was, and he wasn't bitter that his friend left him, because in the show that he's bitter that he's like, you abandoned us. It's like, dude, he was frozen. He couldn't freaking help it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's like he's a dick in the show, and he's not a dick in the original show. That's the whole point. And it was such an unnecessary change that doesn't have more impact. It has less impact. Speaking of what Disbrew was when they showed Amashu, the city, for the first time, when they have that establishing shot with the bridge, it's clearly like a digital static picture because there's a line of people and none of them are moving. And you can see it.
Wow.
And they stay on it for a long time. It's like, oh my God, this is a still picture. Like, they didn't even bother to animate some legs or something in there. They just didn't care.
It
So
seems to be a problem with the volume, though. It's always very obvious and very blurry. It doesn't fit properly. And I prefer green screens than the volume for that reason.
Yep.
It just doesn't work at any point. I did like in this, though, I don't know whether it's the same in the show, but they keep talking about how the avatar is meant to keep peace and bring balance to all the different elements. And it seems to just be, we need to oppress those fire people, because if we don't, they're going to dominate everybody. They're just better.
Kind of, yeah.
It's like,
Fire
they
people,
will
are those
annihilate
Native
all the other elements
Yes.
given a chance.
Yeah, they're just like instinctually bad. Like fire equals bad. Yeah, it's like it doesn't seem like would any of would the water people, the earth people, like take shit over if they had an opportunity. It just feels like kind of like Slytherin in Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
Well, the more it goes into it, the actual show, it's not as one-sided as it is in this show.
It's really not. It leads into something pretty complex. That's why a lot of people like the cartoon, because it wasn't just a cartoon. It had a pretty full world. And it was immensely fucking popular. I had the shop at the time. I watched it.
It's unbelievably popular.
I watched it with
really
both
popular.
my kids. We sat. That's how I watched it. It's not like something I would have sought out at all. I just watched it with my kids, and they were different ages, so I ended up watching it twice. And my oldest son is a huge fan. I mean, he is an expert on the lore. He freaking hated it. He sat through all 8 episodes with me like a good son. But damn, he was like, that was terrible. He said it was gay.
Like
frame
one, they got Aang's powers wrong. Aang can just fucking fly now. They fly now. He just flies around.
Until he can't.
Until he can't when he needs to.
Can he not fly?
No.
Can he not fly in the?
The Airbenders used to be able to, but they can't now because of lore reasons. But he cannot do it without his glider. But in the show, he just flies around.
When he's going along the ocean, there's that wave. I'm just like, why don't you just fly upwards?
That was the one I didn't get. Yeah.
Why don't you just fly around, dude?
Yeah.
Well,
rescue.
What's the big problem? So the first one, the M. Night Shyamalan did the first movie, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay, obviously one of the most hated things we've ever seen.
Yep.
What's the difference in this one from a lore standpoint versus what M. Night did, or is there the similar problems, or are they different?
Oh, I don't know, Garrett. You want to take this one? Or you,
Shad?
That's fine.
I said it's like by a cunt hair. This show is better.
I think a lot of people
they got the names
like
right at least.
Really?
I think for a lot of people, they're gonna like this a lot more than the movie.
Yeah, it seems
like I do think that. I do think
a lot better than the movie, because the movie was. I don't think I've ever heard of any single person that liked the movie, that liked the cartoon. I don't think there's anybody. I've never heard of anybody that liked it. But I do feel like I've been looking up how the people's reception is right now. Like, I mean, just on, and I know it's Rotten Tomatoes, but like the audience score is at like 76% right now. That's probably going to go down a little more. The audience score for the movie is like 30%.
Wow.
And the critic score for the movie is 5%. And the critic score for this one's at 6%.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, 61%. 61%.
They tried in this one. This was it ultimately was an attempt that had all the resources. They tried to make it look like it. There were moments that were okay. But if you love the cartoon, you're going to hate this, because they change so much of the lore, and we understand you need to do that, but it's unnecessary. Like 99% of it does not work. It's unnecessary. It undermines the characters. The performances are so flat. So I'm with Garrett. Like that a shitty movie from what was it, 10 years ago now? It's just a shitty movie. It's Madam Web to Marvels.
It's not even just a problem of lore either, because like as you mentioned with the acting, I felt almost like the voice, the delivery, like the line delivery itself was so bad, was so wooden.
Yes.
Honestly, for a second I said, was this originally in English? Because it honestly felt like what you typically get when there's bad English voice acting, right? Where it's like this very monotone English voice, and you're looking at the face, you're like, wait, that doesn't really match up. That's exactly what was happening throughout the entire show. Was, wait a minute, who are these characters, and why are they seeming so emotionless in the way that they're talking to each other, and it just felt weird. It was like this weird disconnect.
It felt like they took the first take every single take.
Yeah,
Like they didn't try and go, hey, can we try a different
good way? Yes. Because again, the acting was distractingly bad. I'm still like, again, if I'm just going in as not knowing anything, there's enough there that I'm like somewhat interested in. Like, okay, I just watched recently, like 2 weeks ago for the first time. So, and I watched the dubbed version, so everybody can go ahead and get mad at me. But it's the live action Kenshin movie, Rurouni Kenshin.
Hell yeah, that's really good.
Hell yeah!
Fuck, okay, so goddamn good. Holy shit! Now I watched the dubbed version, and the acting felt better in that with the dubbed version than the acting in this. You know what I mean? Like I was still like, so it's like, but. Oh my gosh, Kenshin is
because
awesome.
ultimately acting is acting, right? It's not just line delivering and dialogue. But like the I don't want to shit on the kid, but like the actor playing Aang is just not good. It's
That's most kids though. There's
very
very
more
few
natural.
shows where kids can act at all.
Yeah,
He feels a little more natural than the kid from the movie, but I mean that's not saying much.
It felt like they didn't invest in doing rehearsals or having acting coaches on set or having a director that knows how to direct actors. And like, this is how this character's feeling, and that's where that character's coming from. It was just read the line, deliver. It was the entire show for every single, not just the kids. Like we keep pointing out the kids because the kids were bad, but the adults. It's some adults that are actually good actors were not good in this show.
I think with kids though, it's understandable because they haven't experienced a lot of those emotions or those severe things anyway. So you can understand them not being like it's not their fault. It's just
no, and I think most human beings understand that. Like, give them a little pass, but like, there's a point where you got to find a way to cover that up as a showrunner, as a creator, and writing certainly helps that. And the writing was, Quarter Black mentioned it, Baggage Claim mentioned it on Twitter. This is just tell, not show. I mean, they're telling you everything and showing you at the same time.
Yeah, the dialogue was really clunky, and especially when you compare it to the original. And bear in mind, the original was a kid's cartoon, but the writing, the character progression, the subtlety, the understanding of just implication by emotion stuff, it's amazing how much superior that cartoon is on a writing standpoint compared to this adaptation. Yet having said that, comparing this to the sludge we've been getting, Madam Web and Obi-Wan Kenobi and crap like that, there's actually things to enjoy. And I think because, I don't know, we're in a drought of good content, I found myself enjoying it more than I probably should, just because,
same.
So,
that's all right. I don't think that's a fair comparison. I think you should compare it against entertainment from those countries. So, like, I watched Yu Yu Hakusho recently, and it's got problems, but the action scenes and gave enough of the world that I wanted to go and watch the anime. Which Lady Grey Master says is far better. There was nothing in this in the first 2 episodes that makes me want to go and watch the show. Like, even if it's better, and I can probably know it's better, I wasn't drawn to it. I didn't want to find out more about this world because the show is that bad. It puts me off.
Yeah,
well, that's what I mean about the drought of content, because I shouldn't be reacting as positively as I do when Sokka got a good heroic moment and there was some noble sacrifice and stuff like that. But that just always, like, if there's some good themes and characters doing really decent things, I tend to like that probably disproportionately than I really should, and as a result, I can generally enjoy even a lot of the problems, and there are problems, and even like I find it funny, a kid's cartoon, when I was saying that it was better, the cartoon is even more edgy. The fact that they're willing to have Sokka be, sexist and making these comments and stuff like that in the cartoon, and then he has a proper character arc and progression, that's too edgy nowadays. A cartoon.
Oh my God.
It's called an arc, guys.
And I want to point out that they claim that they toned that they didn't tone it down, but they completely toned it down. It's like completely gone from the story, so that you take away his arc completely, and there's no again, the changes were made. Even Garrett, didn't you say your kid mentioned it? Like, they could have they put as much work into making the changes than just doing what they could have done and made it a truncated first season instead of mixing in book two.
This is such a problem that we have with Western media now, and it's so fucking annoying that they're taking beloved franchises that are beloved for a reason, whether they're a decade old or 80 years old, and there's a reason why they've stood the test of time, and there's a reason why it has such a popular fan base, and then they take that and they go, we need to change it to conform to our ideology. And it's just like, You're insane. You're absolutely insane because you're taking the essence of what everybody loved about it. Character arcs, failures, building themselves back up again, all of this, and you're eradicating it for your ideological purposes. And it's cancerous. It's cancer. It's in video games. It's in TV. It's in movies, and it's malignant, and it needs fucking getting rid of. The best thing that's happened with these anime live action is when the actual owner of it has control, you get One Piece. When the owner does not have control, you get Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
You know, that's exactly what you get. And it just shows a distinction between somebody who gets entertainment, somebody who gets story, gets characterization, and a Western society that is absolutely annihilated with fucking identity politics. And it, fuck it, I'm watching more stuff from Korea and Japan right now than I am from the West, and I'm loving what I'm watching.
Yep.
I have a show question. Would a Dutch oven be an example of airbending?
Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe.
So somebody will get kicked out of the bed.
You could train that.
So
You
there's
could
no
train.
better, there's no better example of what Az just said with the character Katara in this fucking show. So they turned a character that really has a great arc, kind of earns, and they by the end, if you haven't watched the cartoon and don't know the scenario, which is set up towards the end, it comes off like a fucking just full on modern girl boss moment, and they take away all of the work she did from the original show and earned it. Yeah, and you're looking at her. I'm my own master now. You know, it's like, oh fuck, it was done so bad. What you just brought up, Quarter Black, was the one of the showrunners exiting 2 years ago. Happened in 2000. No, 3. God damn.
The original creators
4 years
of
ago?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I keep thinking
4 years ago.
2020 is 2 years ago. Oh, it's because we missed 2 years in California.
Oh. They blipped.
But basically, they
It's a
said,
blip.
hey, they wouldn't listen to us. They wouldn't respect us, so we're leaving.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
And
know
I mean,
that
So I already knew it was not going to be great, but I was watching it, going, maybe they heard some stuff from One Piece, and they were like, let's think about this a little bit better. But
we all know if the showrunner of the person who created One Piece didn't have creative control, we all know for an absolute fact that Nami turning and saying "help me"
Would not be in there.
never
Nope.
ever happen.
Nope.
Never
she
happen
would
in a
have
month
said,
of Sunday.
I'm going to help myself.
Yeah,
That's what she would have said.
And then she go, "Come on, boys," and then they go,
Yeah.
all go, "Yep."
Yep. Exactly.
Oh God,
Just
ridiculous.
So,
Well,
Garrett,
I am interested. I'm interested to see how the whole reception of it turns out, because it does seem like the reception for this is much better than a lot of people. Now, it could be just low expectations after the
Exactly
live
that. I
action,
reckon it's-
so. And I
Yeah,
mean, not even based on like Marvel, DC bullshit or Star Wars. Like the previous live action Airbender was so fucking horrible, apparently. And so
I think in contrast, it'll be perceived as better.
Yeah,
Though it's not much.
They've been getting fed crap so often. Now they get a cookie with crap flags. They say thank you. Because
Shad,
they're
I
like-
agree with you. There was some good story. There's a couple actually positive father figures in this story. There's some storylines and beats in it that are good. Like I said, the production value. I think some of the costumes were good. Some of them
I
weren't.
thought the bending looked pretty good for the most part.
Some of the CGI was good. Some was really
some
bad.
was horrible. Yeah.
They had real sets. It wasn't in the void or CGI. There was elements to this that could have been great, and if they just listened to the original creators, like we say so many times, just listen to them, and they it's only their imagination that created it.
You know what's going to be
it's
interesting?
only their creation.
What's going to be
Why would you
interesting is
do that?
remember the original showrunners spent time, so a lot of this stuff is their people and
Yeah,
their
they
setup.
hired a lot of the people on.
So
on
we're gonna
staff.
see, it's gonna be a typical Netflix season 2 when season 2 comes out in 3 years, because it'll be fucking 3 years.
Right.
It'll be like Witcher season 1 to season 2.
Well, we don't like to break news here on Friday Night Tights. We're just a bunch of retards. But we've got the first image of season 2 of The Last Airbender right here.
That's why he's been tight-lipped this whole time.
Yeah,
Didn't want to reveal.
I've got an NDA. Yeah.
Congratulations, Ryan. Well done.
Finally, some representation.
I have the same tattoo on my lower back.
That's very specific.
That is very specific, Chrissy.
You have Ryan as the last race bender. Oh,
Wow. You know, that's really weird because this is the leaks I saw. I saw these leaks. So are they going for like a clone saga thing or something?
Fart bender.
Oh man.
Jesus. So we're not gonna go on for. Go on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, going back on those changes, really, like, so many were just unnecessary. They, like, it would have taken as much effort to just do what was originally in the cartoon. And then it raises a question that I always bring up in my Night's Watch reviews. Is like, why would they make that change then? And you get the impression, well, of course, there's always, ideology, like, let's change it to a woman doing it, or lesbians or something like that.
Gender bending.
And it's and that is such a pathetic reason to change something from the source material, because it shows that they're just wanting to push a message. It's all ideological driven. They're not just make a good show. And then the other thing is complete arrogance and hubris, where they want to put their own mark on it. They want to make this their own, and they think they can do it better. And I really got that impression with changing the beginning with the showing the death of the airbenders and stuff like that. Like, why did they choose it? They thought that worked better narrative. They thought they were better writers, but they are not better writers, not by a long shot. And they're that arrogant, though. They think that they can rewrite something that was really well done, and they think they could do it better. It's like, whoa,
Well,
wow.
the showrunner is a guy who worked with Alex Kurtzman, so
go figure.
Well, there you have it.
If it's done right the first time, why do we need to have a live action adaptation to begin with?
Well, okay.
Because
how about you just HD? I want a 4K. That's all.
Done right means ideologically changed to conform to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
The
done
origins
right.
of one of the nations is now literally built off of lesbian relationship.
Dude, okay, that is the worst change. Go on, explain that to people who don't know. The story of the two lovers.
Okay, so the Earth Nation, they have a legend that this is where all of the earth-bending power came from, and in the city of Omashu came from. Is these two lovers were from different tribes. It's basically a Romeo and Juliet story. They went into these tunnels, these secret tunnels,
because there are two different tribes. Because
two
they
different tribes.
They weren't allowed to be in love, right?
They go into this secret tunnel so they could be in love, and then one time the man doesn't show up because he died in the war. And she goes out and then she uses her earthbending powers to destroy instead of destroy, to bring everybody together and whatever.
Yep.
So it's the actual lore of Earthbending Nation. In the show, they make it a lesbian couple instead. That's it. That's the only change. There's no other.
It's fucking pointless.
Lore change is pointless.
So
and
the
when you point it out,
there, then okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. So that's it. No more.
when you point it out, people go, What does it matter? Who cares? Well,
Okay,
then
if it
why
doesn't
change
matter,
it?
then why change it?
Because that's the only time they ever say that. They only ever say, why does it matter? When they have enacted the change to how they want it. Then they go, why does it matter? Whereas if you didn't change it in the first place, they're there kicking their fucking screaming, oh my God, food was always fucking gay.
Or if you go into a lesbian story and make it a straight story,
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
They would shit themselves.
It doesn't matter, right? Pronouns don't matter.
Did it matter?
I'm gonna remake Monster, but instead it's a heteronormative relationship.
Quarterblack, what was the name of the master of the Northern Water Tribe? What was his name?
Eric.
My favorite part is
Aquaman.
they made a Mexican guy white. That was my favorite part.
With the bald cap?
With the bald cap, they gave him blue eyes. And I'm like, that's A. Martinez. I know A. Martinez. He ain't white. But they made a Mexican guy white. I was like, oh, okay. Is that okay?
All right, okay.
What if we did that the other way around? Apparently that's the problem now. So
yeah.
No.
To add on
whitewashing.
To add on to Shad's point when he said, like, I forgot what the exact thing was. He's
Paku,
like, why
thank
do they
you.
do this? One of the things that George R. R. Martin kept on about is like artists and how artists would go crazy if they didn't change something. It's like, yeah, but there are limits, and the limits is the source. It's like, I think most people would say that the design of a car could be considered art, but it's still got to look like a pissing car. You can't make it any shape you want because there are reasons why it is the shape it is, and you just change the sort of periphery of it to make it look different than everything else and nice. I'm just saying with this, the source material is the shape, and you can mess with the edges to convert it from one medium to the next, but everything else has to be the same. And a lot of these, I don't think you even really need script writers except to decide which bits to cut out. You don't. It was like when they were doing a remake of Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they hired a script writer. Why? The original had a script. You don't need to change that.
People love
it. Caused the entire thing to get cancelled because they destroyed the original thing by trying to rewrite it. And it's going to be all the same with these, and especially as it's coming from a different country and a different culture, and they don't even understand different cultures because everything in that culture is wrong to them. They're going to get obliterated the more often they try.
It is an American cartoon. It's not anime.
Oh.
It's like an American anime hybrid kind of thing.
You have to remember, Disney thought that they could pander to the Chinese audience by putting a Vietnamese woman into a fucking film.
Vietnamese?
Because
these are the people we're working with.
Vietnamese woman into the show because I guess they're all Asian. You know, not understanding that China fucking hates Vietnam and vice versa. But that's the kind of level of people that we got with
culturally
Disney.
Insensitive.
Well, that's what I like to
that's
one
like
Hollywood thing.
that's like
retarded comics.
That's like putting the partition of India in a show with a Pakistani superhero and expecting it to do well in India.
I see American articles talk about South Asia all the time, and you look up the countries that it means. It's like a quarter of the world. It's ridiculous.
So could we break down
billions upon billions of people here?
You know, I don't think it's an accident. India bounced down on Hotstar after Miss Marvel came out. So with Disney,
can we break down that change to make the lovers now gay? Right? Because why? Is it about being seen and representation? No, that like in terms of gay representation, that is flooding media everywhere. It's not about representation letting be seen. Also, bear in mind, this is a kids show. Yeah.
Yes.
But Gary, I think it's more pernicious because this is a kids show, right? What the target audience is between 8 to 12, essentially. And though adults will like it, the core audience of this is targeted to kids. Like, kids aren't even thinking about sexuality at that young age. Why?
They are now. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of adults out there from a certain side of the political aisle that really need that to be taught to them, though.
They're thinking about
We saw the
sexuality.
exact same thing in Doctor Who. Doctor Who being what is considered a kid's show, they're injecting the same ideology in that. And the showrunner literally admits that they want to indoctrinate children.
Yes. Yeah. They use that very word. They're very open about it. It's like
they are.
They say the not so secret agenda, like with Disney, and that was behind
not so
the
secret
scenes.
gay agenda.
Not so secret gay agenda.
Gay agenda.
But it's not been a secret. It's just people haven't been aware. You know, and you know they're not aware because they control all the media. So basically, if you're against selling, and that's what it is, selling a sexuality to kindergartners, then you're a homophobe. That's the whole line on that one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or if you're just against changing the original source material, you're a homophobe. That's the line.
No,
now.
that's a code now. That could even get us to our next subject because apparently, it's saying it's just a bad film is coded language, according to a Disney executive.
Yeah,
coded language.
Yeah.
Well, that just shows you that they, of course, you know, the demand, or what is it? The demand for racism doesn't meet the supply. Is that what it is?
Yes.
So they've accused so many fans of being, you know, racist for all these years, but you can't really find any of that. So now they've kind of shifted it to where, well, now if it's just honest criticism, that's coded for the thing that we claimed that it was now, because that just shows you that they don't really have any substance to their argument. So now they're moving the goalposts. So
I think it's
not
absolutely.
I think it's worse than that. It's that there's not enough sexists in the world for them to be able to virtue signal and become that like how good are we to oppose. They want the boogeyman so that they can be seen like they're actually doing something with their lives. And there's not enough. So we'll just rewrite reality to interpret. Oh, well, this means you're sexist and you're a bad
instead
person.
of finding meeting in your own life. And hey, we're breaking news twice now in one episode. This is crazy. We're gonna break some news right here. Guess what? Disney is failing because of you. Just wanted to breaking news.
Okay,
it's your fault
because of your racism.
I hope you're happy.
Well, they need a boogeyman because that's called intersectionality.
Yes.
Because intersectionality is built on a structure of victim culture. And therefore, to be a victim, you must have an oppressor. and therefore nothing can be wrong. They must be oppressed at all times in whatever way. So if they're making media and you're telling them not to accept it, or you just want to buy a fucking ribeye at your supermarket and the checkout's covered in fucking pride flags.
Just want to get some frozen faggots. That's all it is. They're little pork.
I got faggots in my freezer right now. I
little
got
pork.
faggots in my freezer.
When I went there,
am excited to eat them.
I ate faggots and peas when I was there. That's an actual dish.
No, but I'm British. I do. I literally do. I will take a fucking photo. My freezer has got frozen steamed vegetables and faggots in it.
Are they you guys act like a real person's listening to this. It's a fucking bot. And the more you say it, the more you're gonna get the channel in trouble.
Well, I got demonetized for saying Madakumbe Key on the real beat. No, Graham Nolan saying Madakumbe Key, and when they ran it through the fucking Google check, it said "Man, come on me."
What?
Oh God!
That should have got bonus money.
Half of my videos get demonetized because I say, "Hi everyone, it's Az here from Heel versus Babyface," and when you put the subtitles on, it says, "Hi everyone, eat ass here from Heel versus Babyface."
Well, is it wrong? Are they wrong?
They're not wrong, but I mean, it's just not cricket. That's all.
The whole mask slipping off. Az just admitted why his views have been so good lately because people thought he was saying that.
I really tapped into
Getting a new target demographic.
Yes, taking a page out of Camelot's book.
Oh man, that was good.
Hey, on this though, good. Disney, I think Disney's correct. All they need to do is take out the word fans. All of their problems are because of racism and sexism. We've seen their hiring practices.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Bang on the money with that. But the problem is they're the racist and sexist, but they don't think they are, but they genuinely are.
Of course not.
Well, the best thing about this article, if you scroll down all the way, the last paragraph is, please, Mr. and Mrs. Racist, come see our movie.
We'll go over the whole thing. All right. So, newsletter reveals corporate arrogance behind Mouse House is fail. And, you know, something we pointed out, and he points out the quartering and me. You can scroll up. Am I saying it right now? Stock woes, box office flops. So it is scroll down. Fuck yeah. Okay.
You said up. You said up every other time.
No, I said scroll down.
You just tried to Bugs Bunny me.
No, I did the opposite for the first time. I always say scroll down.
Yeah,
and you guys were like,
down
scroll
a page,
up.
the text goes up.
Yeah. Scroll sideways.
Diagonally.
Scroll left.
Stock woes, box office flops, Wish, Haunted Mansion, The Marvels, theme park struggles, beloved brands struggling for relevancy after years of cultural dominance, Indiana Jones, Pixar, Star Wars, and the MCU. Well, they're all dead now, thanks to Disney. There's a cottage industry of alternative media outlets documenting Disney's decline. Nerdrotic, The Critical Drinker, we just showed his trailer. Hail, Critical Drinker. The Quartering, Film Threat. No heel versus Babyface and Geeks and Gamers, Christian Toto. Shame on
Christian.
G&G fell off, so it's all good.
I guessed Christian Toto's DVD collection. He's got a huge rack of like DVDs and Blu-rays and shit behind him, and there's a little game that goes on, and you got to guess how many he's got. I guess 6.
Okay.
By the way,
I was wrong.
Shout out to the Quartering for getting Gary on Friday Night Tights. Man,
Yeah,
that's
man.
a big
Yeah,
gift.
hey,
That's a big gift for this show.
buddy.
So,
A lot of work in the back. Thanks, Jeremy.
I've been saying since Friday Night Tights started, I've been telling Jeremy from the Quartering, I'm like, if we could just get Gary on, like that's gonna take the show to another level.
Yeah, I think he's got something.
So I think we're on to something.
Thanks.
Here.
Thanks.
So,
It feels good to make the cut, guys. It really does. Thanks, Chad.
We're all working for Alex Jones.
We're all working for Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Hey, our boss has no idea who we are. You know,
It's compartmentalization. That's how it works.
He's only been on the show twice, and says he watches all of our channels.
Well, as you said, he's kind of retarded. So.
He's been on our show. We've been on his show.
The company's hard left turn for starters. Disney declared war on popular Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. No, on the state of Florida, by the way. And now you scrolled up too fast. I wasn't done. Push
You slow down.
not at all secret gay agenda and embrace DEI policies behind closed doors. Then we have
Principles, not policies.
Principles,
Sorry.
Okay.
When I'm correcting
Morality
you, you know
is
there's a
settled.
fucking
Damn,
problem.
man. Yeah.
I'm dealing with fucking quarter black going up and down with the article. I can't read to begin with.
That's not gonna get clipped. I'm dealing with quarter black going
up and down quarter black.
Hey,
Going up and down and
how
up
the
and
fuck
down.
do you think he's got the job here in the first place? Okay. Yet the company may not be listening to fans at all, really, but shouting for the Mouse House to course correct and fast. Bulwark culture editor Sonny Bunch shared a snippet from a recent Puck newsletter suggesting Team Disney isn't about to change its ways. This is a shocker. I am shocked that Disney is saying they're going to slightly course correct, retool, not a reboot, but they're really not going to change.
No.
That's
what I liked about that retooling article is it said, yeah, we're going to give showrunners more power. And then when the Marvels failed, he said the problem was there wasn't enough
I know.
executives overlooking
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You talk out of both sides of your mouth depending on what you think sounds best at the time.
Bullshit
Enough
is getting
studio
mixed up.
interference. We need more studio interference. That's what we need.
Yeah, we did. Well, the POCs need more supervision. As that's
How many
very clear.
Gary? How many producers did Star Trek
Picard
have?
21.
21.
Oh my god!
Right.
That's. Do you know what that is, folks? That's just 21 fucking extra paydays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Creative accounting.
Hey man, give it to all the executives, give it to all the creators. It doesn't fucking matter. You all suck. You can't write and you can't create anything. Get new people.
The teaser comes from Matt Belloni of Puck News fame. I say Belloni because it's fun.
You say baloney, and I say baloney.
There you go. Who spoke with unnamed Disney executive on the company's woes. Said the executive blamed consumers. By the way, that name sucks, but even though some do exist, most of you are just customers. Not the company for its problems. Audiences are too sexist, racist, etc. And that's besides Ryan to embrace Disney product. So here, scroll up. We'll just read the.
We'll just do this one.
We'll read what the. There you go. So this is directly from the Disney executive. Light feedback this holiday week, but I want to share a DM I got from Disney executive in response to Thursday's column on whether the politicization of the Disney brand impacts box office. Everyone says it's the movies, stupid, which is an easy thing for people to say. More appealing movies are a great way to jump the political issues, but more and more our audience or the segment of the audience that has been politicized,
which Disney did.
Yes.
This is why
Yeah.
Bob Iger is
Yeah.
quoted as saying, we need to take a stand on these issues.
Yes.
We should do this because this is a moral force. The reason why people get politicized is because you actually had values in your stuff before, and now you're changing them because you think there's something else which is better. And that's what people are fighting against. You politicized it because you went against for what your audience wanted.
You welcomed in the activists who cannot create anything on their own, but will hitch their wagon to anything to get their message across. And if they destroy it in the process, even better, because they never liked it in the first place. Equate the perceived message in a film as a quality issue. They won't say they find female empowerment distasteful. So the MCU has been female empowerment. Is that what you're telling us, Disney? Because I would say it's the opposite. In the Marvels or Star Wars, the latest trilogy starring Daisy Ridley, but they will say they don't like those movies because they are quote unquote bad. So
because they are bad.
It's a dog whistle.
It's a dog whistle. You don't like something is a dog whistle for sexism and racism.
I don't think he's wrong though when he says that messaging is a quality issue, because if you have different morals and values, what your heroes will be doing in the movie has to be seen as good by the audience. If they're doing what they think is evil, well, now they will hate your heroes and like your villains, which makes them think your movie is bad. So,
well, the other issue too is that when you put limits on creativity, which is what they're doing, it's going to be a bad product. And a lot of this DEI shit is nothing more than limits on creativity.
Well, look at the suicide shiters. Warner came out yesterday, and Warner said that it is underperformed, which means it's absolutely tanked. It's performed pathetically. Nobody's playing the game. It's under 1,000 players on the game when there's anything to play, and that's because, of course, Sweet Baby Stink this is a company, this is a race baiting, ESG driven, DIE driven company that will come into Western gaming companies and fucking fuck up your shit. Essentially, it will politicize your shit. I've had people contact me, quite a few people now contact me, who've worked at various companies who want to remain anonymous, that have said about Sweet Baby Inc. coming into their company, going into a game, literally black-facing characters, literally changing things like that purely for their ESG value to the Western company. It's a disease. It's a disease, an actual fucking disease. It's got nothing to do with entertainment anymore. It's all about ESG. It's all about DIE. It's got no focus on entertainment, and it's certainly got no focus on family values anymore. They want you to get with the program, and they want to reprogram, but we're refusing to be reprogrammed. So, of course, it's our fault.
Yeah, it's social engineering, and at this point, they should just basically light their money on fire because that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we were talking about this today, but like with video game companies, like they seem to have a shorter leash with the fan bases. You know, like something like Halo obviously was a massive thing, and then it really has fallen apart. After Halo 3, we saw how quickly CD Projekt Red got all that backlash after Cyberpunk, and then a lot more got exposed by them. And they had before that they were viewed as like untouchable.
Yes.
And I mean, how quickly things can fall apart for video game companies because the fan base just will like No Man's Sky. Yes, Naughty Dog. When No Man's Sky released to all this hype and then the game wasn't complete, people abandoned it. Disney just has that kind of family value that's still part of their image to the normies. But the more and more shit like this happens, the more that will affect it. And we've seen families kind of abandon a lot of what Disney's doing. Yes, 100%. Yes, it's just going to take more time because we're talking about people that aren't as involved in the news cycle as the hardcore fans like in the video game world or something like that. But the families are starting to realize how bad things are at Disney. It's going to take time, but the more and more people are waking up to this, the more they're having conversations online, on social media, on their Facebooks with their friends and family, they're realizing what Disney's all about.
And
this is so disingenuous to say because there's been so many examples of female empowerment that didn't have to be shoved down our throats. Like I'm sure plenty of people found Princess Leia to be an empowering female.
Yeah, Sarah Connor.
It goes back to what was said before about it's only a problem when it's done the other way around. They changed the messaging originally. As you said, with Disney, the messaging was originally like family values, traditional family values. But they changed that, and they deemed the change of the messaging to be a quality issue, to be a moral good that must happen. But when you complain about the changing messaging, then it's suddenly that messages are the problem at all, and you're actually giving some coded secret hint, when actually it's like, no, you're the one that altered it. This is the response. The response isn't the problem is the problem. You're complaining about the reaction to what you did and blaming them for reacting. You're basically saying they should just get down on their knees and apologize to you and go along with whatever you said because you're the ones in charge.
Yeah, you're just supposed to sit there and pay. You're supposed to sit there and pay money. And a lot of this cultural engineering that comics brought up, you can bring that back because I'm not finished. I was just about to finish it.
I'll bring it back up.
Yeah, it was funded for the longest time, but that funding is now drying up. So they're forced to change, but they are not. They're going to do the bare minimum of change.
Yeah,
bare fucking minimum, and it's still it's still completely freaking shitheads like this executive out when you pull it back up because this is what it's a response to. They see what Bob Iger, Kevin Feige created the MCU, and they see what they're doing by focusing on Deadpool and reshooting Black Falcon, Captain America as a loss. They're seeing the loss of this when it's still going to be the same shit. So to say that don't like those movies because they think they are quote unquote bad. So quote unquote make better movies becomes code for make movies that conform to regressive gender stereotypes or put men in front and center in the narrative, unquote, which is what they're seeing now and what Bob Iger's pivot is about. And this is somebody who works for Bob Iger, by the way.
This is really insidious though, and well, surprise, it's insidious and it's disingenuous. We get called homophobes, bigots, all that kind of stuff. No, we don't care if you're gay. That's your business. That's your life. That's your choice.
Right.
What people care about is that a family brand is pushing this onto children. When you're an adult and you can make your own decisions, nobody's got a problem with that. You do with your body what you want. You can hack it to pieces if you want. That's your choice. Sad, tragic, yes. Not getting the help that you really need, yes. But you're an adult. You can make those decisions. That's all people are saying. Let them be adults to make decisions. But when you push it on, when you take a family brand where mum, dad takes the kids to go and see a film, and you're pushing this ideology, which is not meant for children, onto them, that's when people get pissed. And they get pissed because they're not getting with their social engineering. They're not getting with their program. So they then call you racist, homophobes, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And we get this stupid standoff between corporation and customer. Guess who wins?
The
customer
every single
wins.
time, and that's what we want to win.
time.
As we don't want
Exactly.
like regulation coming in. The last thing I want, there's basic laws to protect children. Yes, we need that, but we're talking about regulating art and speech. None of us want that. What we want is the free expression and exchange of ideas, so we can mock the fuck out of them whenever we want, and then maybe shame them, which they should feel shame them, and forcing them through our wallets or whatever to change. That keeps the order and balance of things. But things are way out of whack. They're way out of balance. And to Disbrew's point, where this comes from is these are the people running Disney right now who don't watch any of their own shit, by the way. Don't watch any of it. They think they are politically correct, morally right. They are fundamentalists. They think the conversation is over. They are the good guys. We are the bad guys. Everybody else is the bad guys.
Yeah.
The audience is the bad guys.
Yep. Well, and the lack of self-awareness around it, Gary, is when they go and call people out for being racist and sexist, and they're going to, at the end of the day, they're like, oh, go buy our product. By going and calling your audience racist and sexist is not going to entice people to consume your product. As a matter of fact, what they're going to do is go fuck yourself, Bob Iger. That's
also,
what they're gonna do.
why are you trying to make a product for a group of people you're trying to re-educate anyway?
Yeah. Well, again, it goes back to the social engineering argument. They are wanting to basically blackmail people into agreeing with them.
And it's not about the people that are alive right now that are adults. It's about, again, the kids. If you feed this stuff to the kids as they're growing up, they'll just believe that this is just how things are. Yeah. That is morally correct. That's what it's supposed to be. And that's
that's
the whole point.
And I think you really saw it come to the fore as well during the COVID era, because think about, people were literally having their jobs be put on the line if they did not follow through, if they did not bow. And that's exactly what's going to be happening soon, where it's like, oh, you don't buy this ideology, you don't bend the knee, you don't bow to this, okay, you're gone, you're dead. And so, I mean, it's just, again, it's kind of like they showed their hand too much. Maybe that's why we're seeing so much backlash to the degree that we are at this point.
And what happens with, then you get a rise of independence. That's what you get. You get a rise of independent media. You get a rise of independent creators, whether it be writers, filmmakers, TV producers, whatever it may be. And then that starts to ascend. We're already seeing that with video games right now. We're seeing a lot of big companies who are known for their AAA games starting to fail miserably with customers because they're not producing what the customers want. They're just producing, whether it be social engineered stuff with Spider-Man, which, by the way, caused a huge problem for Warner, because Spider-Man 2 did not perform in any capacity. Disney. How they Warner, Sony and Warner particularly. Yeah, Sony.
Well,
particularly.
Disney took credit for Spider-Man 2. Bob Iger said it was the best-selling game of 2023.
Well,
that's a lie.
Yeah, it's Hogwarts Legacy, and he doesn't know
Hogwarts,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, because you get, this is what you get though when you get earnings calls.
Listen, Bob Iger just realized that the kids are getting into video games. Okay?
Did you hear?
We gotta be there. Let's get on to this Fortnite. This looks like this game could take off.
And then when pressed when this deal is going to happen, he doesn't have an answer. They're like, hey, when's the Fortnite thing going to happen? He's all, maybe sometime.
Yeah, they don't even know. Yeah, great job on that Disney
Star Wars film.
Yeah, great job on that Disney Infinity game, Bob Iger. How'd that work out for you?
It's almost like that deal was just floated out there to help float the stock.
That's all that was.
Yep.
That's all that was. I don't think that there's any, I don't think that's going to have any real impact on Fortnite. But if it does, it's going to be years from now, and it's going to be a temporary bump, just like the Lego Fortnite thing. Like that boomed. That was huge. And it's definitely taken a step back. People are still playing it, but it's nowhere near it was. That's what Disney's going to go through. They're going to have a quick kind of like month boom of whatever this fucking thing is, and then it'll go away. But we're years away from that probably.
No, and this is where it ultimately we're winning. We're seeing it with other media. We're people are tired of this. I'm forgetting the punter's name. Ryan, you know the guy from San Diego State. Yeah,
Matt Araiza
got a job after being falsely accused. Life completely fucking destroyed. And then basically cut a deal with his accuser who was lying the whole time and saying, "I'm not going to sue you out of existence if you just admit you were lying," which he did. And credit to the Chiefs for giving him a contract to sign. But there's still a Dodgers pitcher out there who's
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, who should be in the league.
Still hasn't been signed yet,
and he should be. It's ridiculous. So we need more cancel culture canceled. We need more of this. We had some really, really fucking great news over the last 48 hours. BuzzFeed had to sell their main headquarters for $108 million, which is pennies. Which is pennies from what it costs.
Wow.
They have to lay off 16% of the staff, and then BuzzFeed.
During an election year, no less.
I know.
Has anybody checked on Taylor Lorenz? Is she okay? Is she all right?
She's ground roots, boots on the ground, reporting right now. By doxing people.
There's a CNN article out there. It's from the last couple of days over BuzzFeed, and Vice has gone down as well, and they're calling it CNN called it the death of revolutionary media or some shit like that.
Let me play my tiny violin.
Get what you fucking deserve.
Where will they resist now?
I know. Maybe they'll go to the Mary Sue
employment line.
They're gonna resist earning money.
Yes.
They'll just get hired by CNN or one of those companies.
There you go. Did you see the Mary Sue outlasting Vice though? I did not.
That is wow.
I did not.
I think
DSP
Mary Sue existed
outlives
before
another.
Vice Media to halt publishing to namesake site cut several hundred jobs in restructuring to what?
To nothing.
To nothing.
Guy on a
Reaction farming account on X.
AI.
The AI, that's it. They're going to restructure.
I was going to say, are they going to give it back to Gavin McInnes? I mean, might as well at this point. A company that filed for bankruptcy protection last year was later sold to a group of its former lenders. Oh, no.
So sad.
I don't even care. I'm not going to read. It's just the fact that they're closing is great. The world is healing. The universe tends to unfold.
What was
as
the
it
CEO's
should.
name? What was the CEO's name?
Dick. Dixon?
Bruce Dixon.
Dick in mouth.
Bruce Dixon.
I rest my case.
Bootlicker? I don't know.
Dixon.
Dick Dixon.
Yeah.
Dickinson's dicks in Dick's face.
There you go. But none of these websites can compete. The ad money has changed. Plus, I mean, just the cultural appetite has changed. The normie has started to figure this stuff out, and it's really good. Took a long time.
How are you going to call yourself? How are you going to call yourself revolutionary media when every single major corporation agrees with you?
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not revolution.
Could you find that? Maybe I can find that article.
When you're lockstep.
Yeah.
You said it was CNN?
CNN, it's something to like the death of revolutionary media or something like that. Yeah, as YouTube marks 1 year as Nielsen's top U.S. streaming platform, we invaded the living rooms. We invaded the living rooms.
Well, actually, you kind of did. That's a really good way of putting it, because it was a bit of an invasion and not a knock, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and the fact that more people, and I find this kind of crazy, that they're not watching. They're still watching on phones, vast majority phones, desktop, but a ton of people are watching it on their TV now, like YouTube, and it's easier to watch on TV.
Ever received I brought this down because we were going to talk about Nielsen, but I got a letter in the mail today.
Took me a while.
I got a letter in the mail today from Nielsen, and tell me if this is something to send to everybody. Your household has been selected to take part in the Nielsen radio and TV ratings. Blah blah blah.
No.
Then they also sent me $10 And then
They're bribing you.
Don't
I
spend
will
it all in
throw
one
this thing
place.
out. But
It used to be $1, Chrissy.
There's
Oh,
a
wow.
pamphlet. There's a pamphlet in here.
You're a
and I'm like,
Nielsen
okay,
family.
What I know, but I'm like, what does this all entail? And if you sign up for it, they send you basically a thing that you have to wear. All you have to do is wear this meter,
burqa.
go about your day,
Oh.
and then it'll automatically collect a special signal in the audio of the media being measured, including radio and TV broadcasts and other media. you
Weird.
encounter.
Yeah.
Can you just play Willow 24 hours a day, please?
Like a tracker. How creepy is that?
No, that's how
kinda
that's how
weird.
Nielsen does ratings, and it's very it's not a whole lot
I
of
don't
people.
like
It's like I don't know, like 10,000 people in the country. So,
I
then they-
was specially chosen for a reason.
yeah, exactly. You were. But yeah, you're basically just carrying around something that's listening and picking up everything that you're like watching on TV. That's how they do it.
I don't like
Which
that.
is like a pretty. Obviously, they've got it down, and they have like an algorithm like multiplied by this to figure out how many people we think in America are watching this at any given time. They send it to a lot of different regions and things like that to get a good sample. But it is kind of crazy that that's
You know what I'm gonna
like
do?
how they're still doing ratings.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
this
back in the
little
80s,
meter.
90s, they'd send you like
Chrissy.
a log where you write down what you watch. It was pretty interesting.
What are you gonna do, Chrissy?
Chrissy, if you
I'm gonna
don't
get
like
this
things
little
listening,
meter. I'm gonna get this little meter. I'm gonna set it in front of my computer, and then I'm gonna just put it on just like a loop of all of our YouTube channels.
Hell yeah.
And then some porn.
They're gonna go. What the hell?
Like we just
D-Day
heard 10
Cobra.
hours of. We heard 10 straight hours of feeding the ducks.
Yeah, baby.
Keeps the money though.
if you don't like things listening in on you, I wonder how much your phone does it these days.
All the time. All the time. Because I say stuff, and then I will go onto a website, and the advert on the website is exactly what I've been talking about.
Dude, once it gets to what you're thinking about, and it just shows up on your ad, you didn't say anything audibly. That's a problem.
Right there in the Black Rock chip.
Yeah. Someone told me on Discord that they were going to the gym, and I started getting gym adverts. I'm like, this is basically body shaming at this point.
Yes, it is. Is there a lesbian gym for you?
I didn't get a gym. I just got Google sending me fucking messages going, "You fat fuck."
Did you find that article?
No, I searched exactly that with the death of revolutionary media, and I found a different article from the CNN.
Maybe
but
they,
not that one.
maybe they
changed the name.
Maybe they changed the name.
I looked at the URL, but it's not there.
Yeah, it's not there. Well, maybe they got embarrassed because it's not, the revolutionary media is still out there. It's absolutely still out there. It's you out there in the chat. It's us. Love to see all those ducks in the chat, by the way. Thank you. Yeah.
Feeding the ducks.
Feeding the ducks.
This is one of the reasons, though, that they hate YouTubers and things so much, is because they were hoping in society to get the same reaction that they get in their little meetings, where if they say something, nobody is allowed to say anything. Everyone's scared of saying the wrong word. Everyone's got to agree with it, whether they like it or not.
Yep.
And if you got it in society, everyone would be like, oh, yeah, I love Ahsoka. Ahsoka's amazing. The female empowerment, it was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. So anyone standing up and just being their voice and just saying what they think actively fights against what they are, which is why all social media and everything suppresses everything so no one can see it. You're only supposed to see one perspective. Why Justin Trudeau recently was like, oh my god, I can't believe people are saying opinions. We used to have the news that gave everyone the opinion they were supposed to think. An alternative perspective. And
shocking.
He thought it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So they really hate anybody that will say something different than they want you to.
Yeah, they want everyone basically be in lockstep, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, it is insane. That's why people came to YouTube and started going on Twitter and going, something's off. And it started out as something is off, and now it's like, no, now things are completely off the rails, crazy, and I don't know if we can turn it all back. You know, I talked about this with Quartering, and Benny is, you know, so many of our friends, and we talked about it a ton here, our friendly right-wing pundits who shamed anything geek culture were fucking retarded, and allowed this, that helped it happen by shaming it. You're just a bunch of fucking, you know what? No, they're potential viewers, customers. They're your audience. They're your current audience. They're potential voters. They're current voters. They're regular people, right? And it's a huge block of people. And Hollywood and the activists recognized that a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
A long time.
And the other thing too is that if you're out there, pay attention to Reclaim the Net, because the big thing that they're pushing is all these laws around misinformation. They know they've lost control of the narrative and they're trying to claw it back. And you need to be aware of these laws that they're trying to push.
Well,
that way,
what's
you can
making
push
it
back
a
as well.
problem, and I agree, we need to push back on that. What's making a problem is fucking Elon. Like when we had Twitter in lockstep with YouTube and lockstep with Facebook, well, they controlled it. Now, one guy gets control of one entity, and they've
lost the narrative.
And I know, I'm not sure.
Everybody loses their minds.
I know, everybody loses their minds. But here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. When YouTube suppresses something and you see Facebook and then Twitter doesn't do it and just lets it ride, well, that's kind of a problem for YouTube and Google and Facebook, because now their competitor is allowing something that's getting insanely popular, lots of views, driving money, and they're like, shit, we can't get away. Remember, they used to, this was fortification. This was all fortification. They were in lockstep. Companies are not supposed to be in lockstep. They're supposed to be in competition.
I've talked about this a lot. Like, we don't give Elon. I don't think Elon Musk gets enough credit for what he's done.
No,
I really
he
don't.
doesn't.
Because
He's not
look,
perfect,
you can bring Neuralink
but-
and all that bullshit is fucking insane.
Yeah,
okay,
fuck
so
that
I-
shit.
His views on China are insane.
Yeah, that's insane. But like, the purchase of Twitter will probably be the single most important moment of this entire kind of woke culture movement and all of that. Like, there's no way to actually kind of quantify
they
how
were
big that
winning,
was.
Jeremy. They were absolutely, and it wasn't even close. It was a absolute total victory until Elon came in and started fucking things up.
A good example is the recent Google Gemini stuff. The fact that
Yes.
Twitter has just been roasting the crap out of it, posting all the images of what it's getting wrong. And then Elon himself retweeted the Daily Wire video of Matt Walsh ripping Gemini a new one. And whatever you think about Matt Walsh, that video where he exposes Gemini and the people that behind it making it and all the absolute bullcrap racist stuff that they were actually putting into trying to erase white people, right, was gold. And he retweeted it and it got millions of views. And so Twitter is actually doing some important stuff as a result, exposing this crap. Like, Google is vile. They are a horribly racist company. We rip Disney a new one. Google is
1,000 times worse, and a monopoly. And like, in every sense of the word, they're a monopoly.
Yeah.
And think, if they're the biggest search engine and they are giving biased results, like we've known for years, what type of results will you get if you type in Donald Trump on Google, right? They are truly trying to brainwash the entire world with this disgusting, politicized, ideological narrative. Google has been doing it for ages. And it needs to be exposed more, and it needs a competitor. We need like a new search engine. Just screw Google and just stop using their product, because
I agree.
How can you get that
We
when
need to
they're all
claw back
inclusion?
that.
They're all in collusion with each other.
Yeah, well, you're right.
Which
It
is
inclusion,
against
but
the law.
Which is
What about an all?
they dictate the law now because they have government in their pocket.
Exactly.
It's not just
So-
that. If you need servers, you'll probably use AWS, which means you're innately tied to a mega corporation
Amazon.
in the first place.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, I guess
There's other providers out there.
I don't know if Elon's serious about the whole Xmail thing that he's talking about, bringing email with Xmail. I don't know. I mean, for years, I was always like, people shame me for watching X videos. Now everybody's watching X videos. I don't know what the big deal is, but like, X is taking over. No one actually, really? Did none of you get that?
I got
Holy
it.
fuck. You all, every one of you except for Shad and Odin watch porn. Go fuck yourselves. Don't try to play that one off. Oh, we don't watch porn. We're not going to laugh at this joke and act like we don't get it. But
I thought you were
is he
literally
serious?
talking about the
Jeremy,
poor
it was
quality
one
of X
Holy shit.
videos.
God damn.
Yeah, I
thought I was hanging out with a bunch of fucking Chads here, and you're all like, well, we don't watch porn. We can't admit that. Get the fuck out of here.
I thought you were talking about
Hold
Twitter.
on. I didn't say
I thought you were talking about Twitter.
I thought you were talking about Twitter.
I'm just waiting for the obligatory dude with
I've been
fucking
watching
tits
X.
comment. That's all I'm waiting for.
Bro, my madam,
I like how Jeremy's on Friday Night Tights, and we're talking about fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he's like, I thought we were hanging out with a bunch of Chads here.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I thought he was talking about Twitter. I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just dumb. That's what happened.
Joke. Everybody joked about X videos when Twitter started
I
saying,
know,
"Oh,
I
we're gonna
know.
have videos."
Yeah, I get it. Now. I'm just slow.
Twitter, fucking hell.
Is this Xmail thing actually a deal? Like, is he actually going to come out with an email service called Xmail? It's like I saw screenshots of saying that. You know,
well, he wanted to be the everything app, so eventually,
I'm not for that.
It'll expand to everything.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah,
we need our emails are about to pick up.
I mean, he's literally modeling on WeChat, which is literally everything. You spend your entire day.
There's a
on there.
poll. Did you get Jeremy's joke? I got to vote no.
51%.
I honestly thought I was talking about Twitter.
It's a sign of intelligence. We're all fucking stupid.
50-50.
We're just retarded. That's all.
Wholesome or retarded? I don't.
Yeah. A little bit from
retarded.
A little bit from column
I'm going to put up a poll. Are you a pervert? It's the same answers.
Exactly.
Yeah, Garrett, you're the one who put that intro in for my Madam Web video. So,
yes,
that was good.
Google is such a corrupt company at the moment. Please give us an alternative, like a better search. We want a good search engine. We need the service, but an alternative email service. The issue is that
they're working on an all Asian form of Google called Google.
Are they? Is that the name?
Yes.
There is Brave,
Every
Shad. I
Google's
know
gonna
that they're
get their
trying to
own.
build a search engine, but who knows?
But we don't want an overcorrection. What we
Yeah,
want
exactly.
is we want. I'm getting away from the racism as quickly as possible.
Run, ass.
But it's really difficult because I kind of love it as well. We don't want an overcorrection. This is the problem. We're getting people who want to getting a lot of people who are trying to want to overcorrect this. We don't want to overcorrect this. But the problem is, what response are we going to have to all of this? Because I think it's inevitable that if there is going to be a response, it is going to be a massive overcorrection.
It is. Yeah.
And that's
that's how we got here to begin with. It's a massive overcorrection.
Exactly.
It's just us little plebs in the middle going like, can you stop, please? I just want to live a life.
If we stop the swing towards the center, that's where it needs to stop.
It was tolerance and equality that led you to where you are, though.
In the 90s, we had
tolerance
and equality was really coming through. You know, I don't think you could have a more tolerant and equal society than we've had in the West. The best of times. Now, we've literally brought back intolerance, segregation, and equality has now been changed to equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you tolerated it.
Exactly.
You tolerated these beliefs, which allowed them to get into power, and then the moment they get into power, they're like, well, we don't want that anymore. It's like the whole messaging thing. They can change the message, and you will tolerate it, and then when they get into power, you're the problem. If you're like, well, I didn't like that, can't we go back to how it was? It's like, no. If you want to go back to the 90s, you have to think, what was the problem that led to this, and change it. You can't ask for the 90s. It's got to be different than what it was. Otherwise, you'll end up in the same place.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the big issues is basically they've made the religious right correct.
That's a kid drumming the porn theme at the end. So they're playing a little song.
Oh, playing the Pornhub theme. I had no idea.
Right at the end, he plays the.
It's hard to tell.
No, it's at the end, that, and you talked over it again, so it's okay.
Play it again.
Forget it.
You have to support the kids.
I blame
It's like watching a movie with my wife. What's that? Is he about to die? Wait for it to happen. We're watching a movie.
The movie will tell you.
Watch it one more time.
The movie will tell you.
I am your wife.
Thank you, Disprove, for retweeting this fucking Will Smith spaghetti bullshit.
Yes, show it. Show it.
Look better
That
than
was
that
pretty
last
good.
Airbender. Why does it look better than the last Airbender? Like, it's so fucking weird, dude.
AI has a place in society. It's just finding the right place.
Well, after watching a lot of Hollywood, it certainly has a place in Hollywood to start writing these movies.
Don't get Shad started. Don't get Shad started.
No, exactly. I'll mention. But
Have you met our Lord and Savior?
His
AI?
autism is strong with the AI.
It is indeed. But jumping on Disprove's point, right, about the fact that we were too tolerant to allow just things to go off the rails massively, because what one generate is willing to tolerate, right, becomes the norm in the next generation.
Yes.
And then it gets pushed further and further, and there has to be a standard where you say, no, too far, we're not allowing that, stop it. So it's going to be hard to try and pull it back.
But that's where we used to have parties with differing opinions, and politics would bounce back and forth between these parties, which maintained a status quo of tolerance. Now we have a uni party.
Yes.
And even the fucking conservatives are pushing progressive ideology because that's the fucking
And using their
thing
language.
Yes.
And same language, using the exact same language. I can't even tell between whatever the Tories and whatever the hell you got there. Labor. I don't know the difference between them. You know, like Boris Johnson seemed like a complete Democrat. You know, like, and that guy was supposed to be, like that guy's right wing. What? That's
because it's inevitable. If one side pushes and the other guy goes, we want to be neutral, the compromise moves further. And then they keep pushing, and you want to stay neutral, so it moves further. It's like, no, you need to push in the other direction. Like, there's a whole thing of, we may go too far. It's like, no, because then it just balances it out. You take a point, they take a point, and you end up somewhere, like, you compromise because we have to live together at the end of the day.
But that's happening in Australia as well. Like Australians, the Conservative Party over here, which is the Liberals or the Coalition, right, lost the last election because they were starting to pander to the centre city progressives and lost heaps of the actual Conservative vote because they were going too far left. And then they lost. And so we actually do need genuine Conservative parties, and they're independent.
We need somebody who's anti-authoritarian. That's what we need.
Hell yeah.
We need that. That's what like. I don't care what fucking party they come from or where they come from. We need more of that because that's what we're fighting.
He was authoritarian.
Who's that guy that got elected in the? I forget, but he was saying those mega base stuff and.
What is that guy's name? The South American.
That guy who got elected? You mean in Argentina?
He's got freaking sideburns.
The massive sideburns in the hair.
Javier Milei.
The guy who looks like he's from like a John Pertwee Doctor Who episode. Yeah.
I love how he came in, slashed the budget, and they're making money. Their company.
But there's a reason why they're doing that, because they've been pushed to the point.
Well,
there's
a wave of that.
We're not there yet.
Comics. There has been a wave of that for years, but the system rose up and stopped it. They were able to stop it because they control so many things. But that's breaking down thanks to the coup, thanks to the Summer of Love. More people woke up. More people just went, oh, maybe the government is lying to me all the time.
Yeah, it is.
All the time. Oh,
maybe they're not here to help.
Maybe they're not here to help. Maybe not. Hey, back to Marvel. Back to Marvel. Because look, it's not, don't call it a reboot. Don't call it a reboot.
Don't call it a reboot. We're retooling, yeah.
We're retooling or rebootering. Maybe we're rebootering.
You're not doing shit. You're not doing shit.
No, they're not. But we're going to build up to that. Thanks for throwing the punchline.
We've never mentioned it before. It's a surprise.
Man, what did you write for Last Airbender?
The audience was waiting for the.
That was a good one, Garrett. Garrett, that was a good one. If you watched the whole thing, that was actually a good joke.
Nobody did.
Thank God.
Oh, it's good. I think this is going to be popular. This is going to be like a lot of people will have watched this. This will be very high on the Nielsen ratings.
Reviews are mid.
Very mixed. Yeah.
Very mixed.
But because it's not abject crap, right? And it'll actually be,
But Marvel is abject crap. We can talk about just as is right. It's shit. And the people who fucked up this problem can't unfuck it. Okay? You can't unmake the soup on this one. And I'll refer to that book, The Rise of the MCU, that came out the middle of last year. That was, written by a total woke SJW, but still filled with some pretty good information. Early on in the process, when they were in phase 2, Kevin Feige wasn't quite in charge yet, but he was quoted in saying, I'm paraphrasing the quote, it's not word for word, that if the Marvel Cinematic Universe reboots, I would consider it a failure. Well, it's failed.
A failure.
It's failed. It's failed. How Marvel is quietly, guys? Retooling amid superhero fatigue.
It's a very loud quiet.
Yeah. The studio's golden box office aura has been dented It doesn't exist. They just had their worst flop of all time. Dented. God,
Dented,
man.
more like total.
matter
It's
of-
been totaled.
In a matter of a few years, they have completely wiped out any profits that they got from Endgame.
You're softly retooling history here. That's how they do it.
Yes.
My favorite thing about Madam Web, they went, have you realized that 70% of the audience for superheroes is men?
I know.
They've only just discovered that
Are you aware?
information after years.
No idea.
I find that so funny.
The
I can't
writers for
believe it.
Silk know that now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you should cancel Silk.
Yeah, you should just cancel
completely.
Outright.
Fuck the writers. Just get rid of it because Silk will do just as bad as Madam Web, but we'll get there. We might have to find that article too because there was some good nuggets in there, including you wish for Shazam numbers, and people were like canceling their tickets. Like Ryan did a video on it. They were canceling their tickets, and the theaters could see it happening, like asking for refunds. During their 6-day opening weekend, which usually, by the way, 6 days is closer to a week than a weekend. Hate to state the obvious here. The studio's golden box office aura has been dented or completely pulverized into dust. But whatever. But Chief Architect Kevin Feige isn't scrapping his years-long cinematic universal plan, just refining it by completely scrapping it, by the way. They're not...
Gary,
yeah?
Just for you carry on, Madam Web...
Is it going to be shit?
Is now averaging $200 per theater.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
have the box
It's
office
already
on
at under
that.
$1 million a day.
It was under $1 million a day on day 8.
Yeah.
What were our predictions worldwide,
It had
guys?
a 6-day opening weekend.
I think we were all off on our worldwide predictions. I think some of us said 200 million.
I said 125 worldwide.
And I said I think it might be under
way
100
ahead.
million, and that might be the case now.
I think if you've gone under 100 million, I think you're safe.
I think you're really safe.
Yeah.
Budget for this movie was $80 to $100 million. The marketing budget was $110 million.
Insiders are saying that the budget is over 80 million and it's actually over 100 million.
Yeah,
I said 80 to 100. So
yeah. So it's in the low 100 millions is what they said. So somewhere between 100, 110, 115, something like that, probably.
I heard
So it's still
100 I heard 110. That's right.
Ryan. So is it going to hit 100 million?
At this point, it's tough to say it will.
It's a coin flip.
I thought that was like going to be crazy for it not. I figured it would be in the Blue Beetle area of like 125 million, somewhere like that. With the opening it has, including international, it's going to be tough for it to fucking scrape to 100 million, which is
That's
insane.
amazing. That's amazing.
Dude, 4,000 theaters. 4 fucking thousand theaters, dude, for this movie. And the theaters have had nothing. Like absolutely nothing. They're finally getting Dune this Sunday, but they are fucked.
Yeah, it's been really bad this year. It's been
Box
really
office
bad.
is like trailing 50% behind where it was this time last year. Because I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which lost money for Marvel.
Yep.
But I mean, at least it like that by itself on the same like kind of Valentine's Day weekend. Hit over. That was like $108-109 million domestic opening. Whereas the entire slate of movies didn't even hit that this year.
Ryan, I have to point out that it's a complete coincidence that my wife has left town after I took her to Madam Web for Valentine's Day. And she packed a bunch of stuff with her and said, I might come back. I don't know. Just pointing that out. But I didn't get set on fire, so I consider that a win.
Lucky.
Okay, so
that's like this article where it goes, the budget is 100 million, but that's still far less than 200 or 300 million like the other movies.
Okay.
Yes.
Ryan, what was that Gladiator 2 budget?
So it came out a couple hours ago that reportedly the Gladiator 2 budget is somewhere in the $310 million range. Now Paramount has countered that and said, hey, it's actually only like 250 million.
So, Ryan, do you think Ridley Scott suffers from dementia and he just forgot he shot a movie or something and they had to shoot it twice? I'm not sure. Is that a bad? Is that a
I
mean
don't
joke?
know. I mean, he just did that Napoleon movie, right?
Yes,
that
he
was
did.
200 million.
That didn't do that. That wasn't well received at all.
But to be fair to that, that was never intended to be a theatrical release, which is kind of fucking retarded. Apple we
meant to lose money.
Yes. Apple spent a fuck ton of money. They greenlit a bunch of fucking projects, and we're like, holy shit, there's no way we can actually make money on streaming. Let's just put these in the theaters to recoup a little bit of the money that we were like planning on putting on streaming anyway.
Right.
So even though it did fucking bomb, that was like kind of extra money that Apple didn't even anticipate when they first signed on to that fucking
Still
deal.
probably in the red though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't think you're going on a limb by saying that. Hey,
Like,
Garrett,
okay, we would have lost 200 million, and now we're only losing like 150 million. So it's all
I think it's better you do the other one first, Garrett.
This one
actually.
first?
Yeah,
We'll run into
because I think it
Marvel's
really leads into like Marvel's retooling or whatever the fuck they're calling it was happening before Madam Web, but I think Madam Web might have helped them hit the gas pedal a little bit because Marvel hates these Sony movies that are outside of Spider-Man. They cannot stand them, but they can't stop them, and they understand something that James Gunn's about to find out. That if you keep releasing shitty movies under your brand, most people don't understand the difference between a Sony movie and a Disney Marvel movie, especially now. It's impossible to tell the difference between the Marvels and Madam Web. Although I laughed more at Madam Web, so I had a better time.
I think what Madam Web made it safe. It made it safe for them to talk about because they've spent years talking about how we need more women in movies. We need all these different groups and stuff. If they just cancelled them all, the press would have come for them. But if they could just point and go, "Well, it's not us. It's the audience. It's the box office. The bigots," then they can pass it on the blame on someone else and change.
Yeah. So you and Drinker
try.
Like a movie not doing well has never stopped them before. So
No, but when it's the market driver, like superhero movies are the market driver still. And Drinker and Disbrew both did videos in the last couple of days about the death of the girl boss, and that's true. And as far as not that there wasn't ever an appetite for that with the audience, but it's become painfully clear to the people who make these movies that there is not just no appetite; they fucking hate it. And it will lose you tons of money when you do it. So they will be forced to go away from it in their own way. And it's going to take 2 or 3 years to turn that around. So we're still going to get girl boss shit, really bad girl boss shit. It might be the worst of the worst over the next couple of years. Robin
to go
Hood
off
level.
of what Chrissy said, like they had a surplus of success for a long time, and I think it's running out. They had a surplus of money because they were making billions and billions of dollars on all these movies, and a surplus of goodwill because people really enjoyed them. They thought they were good. They were like, these characters are really great. But then, how many years now are we into this? 5 years of just constant shit? Like everything that comes out is bad?
And again, 2023, not a single film for Disney made really any money at all. I mean, they were at a complete loss. You can only do that so often before you have to eventually change.
I think Guardians was the only one that made money.
Yeah,
it was.
Barely.
It was only kind of a joke, but Batgirl being the third most profitable superhero movie of the last calendar year is kind of true.
I still like the thing is that I still refuse like to believe that if they start making them right, they're going to like Deadpool's going to make a shit ton of money. Now, how much I don't know, but Deadpool's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because it's Deadpool and it's Wolverine and it's Hugh Jackman and it's Ryan Reynolds. And people like them.
Hugh Jackman in a costume. In a Wolverine costume.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's really that simple. If James Gunn comes out with a good Superman movie, again, let's be clear, I love Superman. It's not like Superman's ever proven to be a box office juggernaut like Spider-Man. It just, he never has been.
Except for the Donner Superman.
Except for Donner,
I mean, but I mean, like, but I'm saying, but I'm just saying, consistently, Superman has not shown the ability to be a juggernaut on screen. He just hasn't. I mean,
he's had terrible films. That's why.
Well, juggernaut on screen.
No, but,
how many Superman TV shows have there been? Lots.
Yeah,
and they've all done pretty well. You know,
what I'm saying though is Spider-Man can have a shit movie and it's still going to make nearly $1 billion.
Yes, you're right. Amazing Spider-Man.
You know what I mean?
Amazing Spider-Man made a lot of money. Spider-Man 3 made a lot of money. Amazing
a
Spider-Man
movie with
made a lot
Peter
of money.
Parker Spider-Man in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's Spider-Man.
That's true.
Including the Spider-Verse movies. Those have Peter Parker Spider-Man in it.
Yes.
Those are his movies as well.
Being a clown, being a fucking joke.
Yep. So inside Sony's Madam Web collapse, forget about a new franchise. The flop is wiping out an entire plan for new movie series, thank God. As the studio becomes the latest superhero studio in need of a pivot. There's a couple of great.
Why are you excited? Why are you happy about that, Madam Web? Fucking hell! If we can get 100,000 views on a Madam Web video.
Or a million.
I don't have to watch
Silk on. Bring it on. Fucking let's go.
But Silk is coming, and so we're still getting. Like,
No.
they're not changing, so we're still gonna get all.
I'm as surprised as the next content creator that there was like something in the cultural zeitgeist about Madam Web, because I thought it'd be like Echo. It's like I'm gonna make fun of this shit, and like people who come around the channel are gonna like it, but I don't think the normies are gonna give a fuck. Apparently they did. So oh well. The trailer
in today's video, I was thinking, do I think I can fit Madam Web into the title? Of this
yes, you
film?
can.
I was like,
Yes, you can.
I found a way.
You talk about it for a minute in your video. You can throw it in the title. You can throw it in the thumbnail. It's all good.
Yeah.
The trailer buzz was worrisome. Advanced ticket sales anemic. The last week, the critic reviews for Madam Web were posted, and they stung deepest of all. Sony's Spider-Man spinoff received the lowest average Rotten Tomato score, 13%. Is it still 13, 14, whatever?
13.
It was 13 yesterday when I checked.
Gotcha.
Damn.
Of any major superhero film in nearly a decade. On Wednesday night, you could actually watch advance purchase sales declining in real time as buyers were refunding their tickets. Marvel's a major theatrical chain executive. It really says something when you'd rather have Shazam 2 numbers. Rachel
Shazam just caught a fucking
numbers. I mean, gosh.
They just caught a fucking stray there. Just like, hey, for no reason
Damn, that was
whatsoever,
out of pocket.
we're just gonna fucking shit all over Shazam.
That was fucked up.
Hey man, I'm just hanging out.
Like, what the fuck?
Hey, come on,
Was it
man.
not
Like
bad
a year
enough?
ago, man.
Always
Taste
gotta
the
kick-
rainbow, man.
Always got to kick a man while he's down. Yeah, the product
Taste the
placement
rainbow.
was so bad in that. Dude, a movie where the guy dies by product placement with a giant P.
The P.
And then who pointed it out? That was it on Real BBC that they used the P because it's got the little hole in the P so you could see.
No, it was
his
Rags.
face. It was Rags. It was Rags.
It was Rags.
It was Rags. Sorry, Rags on EFAP. That is fucking hilarious. So just go down to the percentage of men and women going to these movies, because they basically say. I mean, what they don't say in this article that they put Sydney Sweeney's nice fun pillows in a tight costume and have her just be Julia Carpenter Spider-Man for 2 hours, basically hanging upside down. It would have done better.
Yep. There you go. That one. Yep.
That's it. That's it. So I pointed this out. I don't know if women are enough to carry the box office here, guys.
Are you fucking retarded?
Yes. Yes. Everybody running one.
Jeez.
Wait. As that was one veteran studio source outside of Sony says, indeed, males make up 65% to 70% of the superhero audience in North America.
Who
and the rest of the world.
Say, wow, really?
I got a question. If you work at a studio as the janitor for 20 years, are you a studio veteran?
Probably.
Hey.
Well, I mean,
better advice if they
that's
are
a good-
senators, honestly. Like,
that's a good point. The studio executive that quote that Christian Toto was floating around, Ryan mentioned it could have been anybody. That could have been the executive.
Yeah, like
of
the
catering.
Disney executive could like be a lot of different people. One veteran studio source that could be a fucking that could be a janitor that overhears people fucking jerking off like around the water cooler or something.
And quite frankly, that janitor is
Gotta
probably
clean
more
off the
qualified
ficuses.
to make decisions. In the case of Madam Web, the percentage of female viewers was still only 46%. So the men, we did our part. We did our part.
Yeah.
And they did say
some
they spent
sources-
80% of their marketing budget on TikTok and something else. So they were really going for the female audience, and they just this is the best they could do when
And
they
by
spent everything on it.
By the Friday to Sunday numbers, there's one source, it's like movio.co, and they have the breakdowns demographically. And
Who's retarded now?
Yeah. 61% of the audience was men for the weekend.
Odin finally, and then he gets interrupted. Poor guy.
He carries on there like a pro, just mid-sentence.
Just keeps going. That's how you do it.
This is my time. This is my time. We got
This is my time now.
Who's retarded now? Okay, you can go to the retooling one now. That's so Madam Web just made things worse. and we still have Craven. I completely forget that Sony.
Sony
Sony
Venom 3.
Yeah, Sony's putting out
And
3
Venom.
Marvel movies this year to Marvel's 1, and I think they can do more brand like whatever goodwill Deadpool 3 is going to bring back. I think these 3 movies could kill it, and it's kind of funny at this point because they're not going to change anything. Remember, Deadpool 3 is being followed up by Black Falcon, Captain America, and that they're completely reshooting right now. And I guess is Hulk going to be in it now? Mark Ruffalo's Hulk?
He was always going to be in it. I
No,
believe.
he was not supposed to be in it. His villains were, but it was supposed to be She-Hulk who was supposed to be in that.
Well, I guess it depends on what like set of those leaks or whatever were out there. You know what I'm talking about? Like the ones that had like the entire thing that just sounded like a fucking like somebody made it up.
Yes, except there was one part that was in finished footage, and it was just it's not a woke scene. It's just fucking stupid. So Captain Black Falcon American is fighting Red Hulk, and Red Hulk punches him in the shield, and Black Falcon
destroys him, kills him immediately.
No, it should. He should turn into jelly at that point because he doesn't have this superhero serum. But Black Falcon, Captain America, like holds him off with the shield.
So vibranium absorbs power.
It does, but to a certain point, you're still going to get squashed to the ground.
Right.
Yeah, you're still going to get knocked back
All
or something.
right, so there's this is the reason why there's some confusion. During a Santa Barbara International Film Festival event honoring Poor Things actor on Sunday, the moderator asked, "You have Captain America: Brave New World next, right?" Ruffalo responded, "Yeah, it's going to be great." He implied that he couldn't discuss the project any further because they, meaning Marvel, literally have a drone that follows me around, joking about the studio's notorious secrecy surrounding upcoming projects. However, a source later clarified that Ruffalo was confirming Brave New World would be Marvel Studios' next project rather than his own next movie. So,
okay,
I don't know what that means, to be honest with you.
I don't either. I was told he wasn't in.
That could mean he fucked up and shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, but
Wouldn't be the first time, right? Hasn't he slipped up? Hasn't he slipped up before?
I was told he wasn't in the first.
He has,
the
yeah.
first one that they shot. That he was not in that, but he might be in the new one.
During the press for Infinity War, he told the guy everyone gets killed.
See, like how much? Can we just pause and like how much of a retard do you need to be to just keep your mouth shut on? Don't say that. It's pretty easy to not say it. I like
the Mark Ruffalo
he's
level.
pretty fucking stupid.
Like,
Answered your own question there, Shad.
Yeah. Because
hopefully he just gets fired and they can rehire Edward Norton, bring him
Scroll
back.
down a
All
little
right,
bit.
let's do that.
Scroll down. a little
Never
bit.
gonna happen.
And then we got a picture of the Fantastic Four. We announced the cast here early December. I mean, we confirmed it. That's all. I mean, it had been out there, but
It was an open secret.
It was a very
don't
open
like the
secret.
casting.
Like Chris Evans' sexuality.
Flame on.
Yes.
Yes,
By the way, if there's one like cameo that I legit would actually like
Yes.
want to see in
Yes.
Deadpool, I would love to see Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Yes.
Like from the old fan. I think that'd just be so fucking funny to see.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and have him go. Deadpool go. Wait a minute, aren't you Captain America?
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
That would
would
be great.
Or,
That would be
or Henry
amazing.
Cavill as a Wolverine variant in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, I know. That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. Short arms and all,
Why?
right, Garrett?
He's a flamer because of the flame.
Short
part.
arms.
Fuck it.
I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's okay, dude.
I say dumb things.
Do you think they're
dude.
gonna do that? Do you think there's any chance they're gonna go that far with stuff though? Like maybe do stuff like that?
Yeah, I
Do you
hope
think
so.
they will?
Should. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, I know
like
there's a lot of
I
rumors
think there's
about
gonna
it.
be a million fucking cameos in
What,
this shit.
Henry
I think they are gonna
Cavill
do that.
showing
No,
up?
he's talking about the Chris
Oh.
Evans thing. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, stuff like
I think
that.
They would.
maybe even Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. That'd be fucking rad. Dude, do
Yes.
Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man. Get Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. Bring them all, but not digital. Not digital.
No, bring him in.
Who was the
Not
guy-
like the Flash.
like this,
We're gonna see pretty
the
much
first X-Men movie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think pretty much we're gonna see everybody that they could get to say yes to it. from the first couple X-Men Fox universe or the Fox X-Men movies, potentially Fantastic Four. We already heard about Daredevil and Elektra and shit like that.
Yeah.
From 20 years ago. That's kind of the era that I think they're really going to draw from.
I think it's a high likelihood. Like, imagine you're getting Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman into a room and going, "Hey, show up in our movie."
Exactly.
I think it's an easy yes. That's an easy
I
yes.
want him to get the old Captain America on the motorbike. That really
Red Brown. Is Red Brown still alive?
I think so.
That's the Red Brown Cap. And then there's the Pierre Salinger's kid. Chris Salinger, Mike Salinger, something Salinger, the Captain America from the movie, from the 90s movie where they had the Italian Red Skull.
Yeah.
I got that movie. Yeah.
Or like I would love to see Wesley.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Bring fucking Wesley Snipes. Bring Wesley Snipes as Blade and have Deadpool make a joke about him running from the IRS or something.
Uphill, in ice skates or whatever. Yeah.
There's a Hasselhoff movie where he plays Nick Fury.
Nick Fury?
That would be awesome.
Hasselhoff's been in a Marvel movie, so I wouldn't be surprised if they would do that. That would be kind of funny.
Yep.
So what this article really explains is their retooling is just bullshit, okay? So just over a year ago, Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania was set to take Marvel Studios to the next level. A new villain is going to be introduced, setting the stage for several years worth of storytelling.
Oh, how'd that work out?
Yikes.
Not so good.
And the movie itself was a giant sizing of a franchise that was previously modest in scope. Instead, the Peyton Reed directed movie heralded a year's worth of missteps, bombs, flopbuster,
Disasters.
box office
come on.
blunders, and PR nightmares, and it was all uncharted territory for Marvel. Uncharted?
Yeah.
Well, some of us were charting that shit. Which
Vietnam, a misstep.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Vietnam's a misstep.
Yeah.
More like a missed backhand.
Bad decisions were made.
Korea, a
Mistakes
PR
were made,
disaster, a PR disaster with Korea, a misstep with Vietnam. Yeah, it's okay. Which had steadily been generating box office gold for 15 years. But the Disney division is in the midst of a pretty darn good February. All things considered. Did I just read?
What?
But the Disney.
What?
How is it a darn good February? What is
From
coming?
what perspective? Is it? Are you in another multiverse? Are you in a multiverse where there's making good stuff?
No, don't be silly.
But the Disney division is in the midst of a pretty darn good February, all things considered, despite the general gloom that surrounds the superhero genre of late. The Super Bowl trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine became the most watched trailer of all time, with 365 million, I'm sure, very legitimate, not embedded views in 24 hours.
Well, that's the problem. Is literally the next sentence is them saying that's actually not true. So I don't even know why you would include that. Like, why would you even include bragging about it in here when you're literally saying, oh, by the way, a third of those views weren't actually views of the trailer and just happened to be people that had the Super Bowl on during that time and watched a 15-second ad to tell you to go watch the trailer. Like, that's fucking insane.
Yes.
Like that they actually included that in those numbers. And if you do take that away, it's not fucking record breaking.
No, it's not.
They're so dishonest.
So they
Disney,
have
they're
to
just-
lie, and these lies work on investors. That's why low information investors are probably one of the biggest problems in this country right now.
Yeah.
Right along with voters. Right along with voters. But Super Bowl fudging or not, the clip's reach was an encouraging number for a studio whose last movie, The Marvels, became the lowest grossing in the MCU's 33 film run, hitting just 206 million globally. What a way to cover your ass to your fucking corporate overlord.
Yeah, man.
That is such desperate cope. That's the whole everything burning around them and this is fine meme. It's like, no.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Effing Christ.
Next February.
All things considered, every single thing considered.
It was the most watched thing, except it really wasn't. But, you know, it's still encouraging, even though we completely lied about our numbers. It's encouraging to us because we fooled ourselves. Next came the Valentine's. Next
There was
came-
an article that I read today that said, or what was it, the Agatha movie, because they only did 1 day of reshoots rather than 5. The studio is really, they really like it a lot, and it gives them a lot of sort of hope for the future, and they're so glad with what they've produced.
Disbrew, it just means they've refined their shit a little more. That's all.
They polished the turd.
Only 1 day of reshoots.
Got a nice
kinda
sheen to
wild.
it.
That is
No,
kind of
but
wild.
but it's had plenty of reshoots. So this is what 1 day of the third bunch of reshoots
For a show that has like 5 titles.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking it's on its fourth title.
What's
Fifth
it called?
title right now?
What's it called now?
Agatha All Along.
Agatha the Darkhold Diaries.
Agatha All Along.
So it was Agatha
That's
Covenant
terrible.
Chaos, Agatha Darkhold Diaries, and I think Agatha All Along. That's the final
Oh,
version. right?
that's
Okay,
so
all right.
bad.
Oh Jesus!
Hang on. What's the name? Agatha's
so
really long? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
God.
Next came Valentine's Day unveiling. No coincidence here. That's the same day Madam Web came out. Cast of the Fantastic Four: Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Yvonne Moss, Burke Bacharach, and Joseph Quinn, coupled with retro art teasing a 1960s setting for the movie. The Fantastic Four are the cornerstone of the Marvel mythos, the first family, which will be the last thing they do, with writer Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, blah, blah, blah. It's also being directed by Antifa Man, Commie Mania's Peyton Reed.
Oh, God.
And they're throwing shade at the Corman version, which will be better. Which will absolutely be better. A day later, Marvel launched the trailer for X-Men 97. Again, I'm sure this had nothing to do with Madam Web coming out. A revival of the 1990s cartoon that debuted in March, which had people initially like, hey, it looks okay, until some of us noticed the Daily Bugle and with the X-Men Gala gay shit and non-binary morph, and considering the showrunner, and then people telling us we didn't understand the X-Men we read our entire lives, the people who probably just watched that trailer. It was fucking great. Great discourse on Twitter, by the way. Ahead of Marvel shows like What If? Anybody watch What If?
No.
I did.
I watched some of the first season. I haven't watched any of the second.
So-
part.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from season 2.
Totally.
My favorite was the quote about the second one where they said because people suffered through like 2 years of the sniffles and stuff, they didn't want to do any world-ending things because it may trigger PTSD. And I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
As if it was world ending.
It's like we need to be hopeful.
And one of the episodes has a girl getting all the power. It's really totally different from Echo at all thematically.
Yeah.
And any animated Star Wars series, these public-facing moves come as didn't they announce the Acolyte? I love job security. Acolyte's coming in June. Is that
June,
right?
yeah.
June 5th. Well,
Hype
they didn't
level 10
announce
out of 10.
They
Hype
didn't
level
announce
10 out
it,
of
but
10.
that's what Collider's.
Let's
reported.
freaking go.
All right. I wouldn't call
Just
that
reminded
an
me of
announcement.
Secret Invasion. They did that too. They gave all the power to that woman, like every single power.
Yes.
Her name's
So that's
her
3
name's
times.
Gaia.
Say her name. It's Gaia.
Gaia. Gaia with her
Gynecologist.
with her masturbation arm.
Yes.
strong
Drax
arm.
masturbation.
My
Hey,
Drax arm.
Apparently,
You know-
in the MCU, the DNA passes on things like rings and tattoos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, just like even that one sequence where she flexes her arm and becomes Drax's strong arm, like her clothes change to Drax's arm. Like, you know what I mean? It like doesn't even make any fucking sense.
makes
like,
no
why,
sense.
Why her clothes would morph into looking
But
like that.
that is like, if there's one image that personifies the MCU, that was it. I was like, oh, thank you, Marvel. Thank you.
Thank you.
These public-facing moves, which they are, at least they call this out. These are public-facing moves, come as studio boss Kevin Feige recalibrates the creative direction behind the scenes. Earlier in February, the company completed reshoots for Agatha Darkhold Diaries All Along, whatever the fuck it's called, the WandaVision spinoff that came out 3 years ago. Is it? God.
I remember when I remember when we were on this show reacting to like the first 2 episodes of that.
Yes.
And like there was a little bit of like, okay, where could this go? It's kind of different. It's unique.
I was interested.
And I was like, I don't fucking know, man. And like now here we are, fucking 3
Holy
years
shit.
later.
Yep.
Whoa,
Oh my.
man, that's crazy.
It is.
It's only gotten worse.
Yep.
Only gotten worse.
House of
a lot
Harkness.
worse.
House of Harkness is the
House of
one that it
Harkness
used to be
was before.
called. That was what it was before.
The
House of Harkness.
company usually budgets 5 days of reshoots into the schedule. Budgets them. That doesn't mean they don't do a complete reshoot of an entire show. But the
Cool
studio
film.
completed the work in just one, fueling a sunny outlook around the show internally, according to sources associated with the series.
shit. We're just not that shit.
According to people who worked on the show, they're feeling pretty good about it. Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Good for them. Good for them.
Reshoots could be just pickup shots or all this, that, and the other. This has been in fucking production hell.
Yes.
I don't know too much about this one in terms of any of the production, other than just the changes in names of everything.
It's been delayed,
and whether that
I
was like a
believe.
meme or whatever or not. But like, I mean, there's a lot. What's going on with fucking Ironheart? Are they supposed? Didn't they just do reshoots on that,
Yes,
which had
they
been
did.
completed for like a year?
Yep.
That fucking bitch is gonna be in her 30s by the time.
I know.
Is she not already?
She's going to need Ironheart surgery by the time it comes out. Give myself one there. Studio also quietly hired Eric Pearson to polish a knob.
turd.
Polish a turd. The script for the Fantastic Four, which has been rewritten 3 times, which will
Polish to polish the script.
Polish the script. There you go. Which will shoot this summer in London. Pearson is a company stalwart who worked on Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow.
That's not a good line.
So good.
We're bringing in our big guns.
Garbage.
And has a reputation for taking projects over the finish line. So you complete projects. What the fuck?
But are they good? Is the question. The answer is no.
So,
guys. Okay, I don't know if we got some more breaking.
Uh-oh.
Superman Legacy is apparently meant to go into
About to start
principal
filming this week.
photography very
Yeah.
soon.
Tomorrow.
And
They just did the table read.
The emblem they're using for Superman is the Kingdom Come Superman emblem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to be leaning into the Kingdom Come story. But Kingdom Come is
an ending.
25 years, 30 years in the future
It's
of
an
it.
ending.
I don't think they're. I don't think they're really gonna lean into the story too much. I think they're just using that fucking logo.
I'm fine with as long as they bring
They can't. Not with the casting. Of
underwear
that guy.
on the
They-
outside.
Didn't they talk about Kingdom Come before though?
The whole point about the logo is it's black.
The
It's
plot
black.
rumors,
It's
which could be bullshit, but they could do it's reverse Kingdom Come with the Authority coming in, and they would act.
No way.
We'll see.
No
If they bring back,
way.
I'm okay with that symbol if they bring back the underwear on the outside, but I'd rather see the Superman symbol. That's just me. I don't mind that symbol, but I'd rather see the Superman
it's
symbol.
great for Kingdom Come because it has a purpose for Kingdom Come.
It
because
does.
this is a very different Superman who gave
Yes.
up on hope because Magog decided that
Yes.
heroes were now proper as judge, jury, executioner,
Well,
vigilantes.
that's where the Authority comes in for the reverse Kingdom Come scenario in that story. But who
why
knows?
don't you get rid of gay Superman and Batman and just have Magog?
I would rather have that, to be honest with you. That's me. We'll see. I think it's done. I think it's done.
And
the stakes for that
low
movie
hopes.
are high. Good. Hey, Marvel's very happy that they got a writer who can finish.
Get finished. He has a reputation for finishing things.
Okay. The stakes for that movie are high, as the studio is still searching for characters and actors who can carry its universe forward after the exits of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. What they don't want to face is they need to recast Captain America and Iron Man. They need to recast them with people who look like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. They need to recast the main white characters, which they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Marvel
Are they
also-
too old to do it themselves? Is that a stupid question?
They are, and it's like you recast it, and you know what? It's like James Bond. Nobody's ever going to be better than Sean Connery, right? But people Roger Moore was that's the James Bond I grew up with. I was fine with Roger Moore. You have to recast these characters because the characters are bigger than the actor.
Yes.
Jake said that he doesn't want to be associated, basically, and I'm paraphrasing. He was like, it was great for a while to be associated with a character like that, and now it's not.
Yeah, I mean, they need to take advantage. I mean, look, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is bigger than Iron Man. He just is.
Yeah.
He is. But
He was fantastic.
But they can take the momentum that they created with that casting, which is perfect casting, and they've made Iron Man more relevant than he's ever been in the pop culture world, and then put somebody that can kind of embody what he brought to it and
keep it
continue
going.
that momentum.
Yes.
That's all you got to do.
Yes.
It's not.
You already have in-world multiverse shit going on already, so it's easy to just bring in another actor.
Did they end the
You've done it
Joker
already.
after Heath Ledger died? No. Because
No.
the Joker's bigger than Jack Nicholson. It's bigger than Heath Ledger. It's bigger than... these characters are bigger than actors. That's it.
Unless, except for Black Panther. So.
Apparently so.
Oh, well, yeah.
Apparently a skinny black girl should take her place, and that'll totally be fine.
We all know that the reason why Chadwick Boseman wasn't recast for Black Panther was because this expedited exactly what Marvel wanted to do with that character.
Exploit his death. Exploit his death.
Exploit his death and push Shuri as the actual Black Panther.
Yes.
That went perfectly in line with Marvel's values.
They just went, yes,
Yep.
perfect.
Yes,
And
somebody-
we could profit on his death.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat said Pedro Pascal is Iron Man.
Pedro Pascal should just play everybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think he's more inclined to play Sue Storm right now, but okay.
That guy is so overcast. There's Pedro oversaturation. Okay,
Honestly,
I've got Pedro Pascal fatigue.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, he works better as Iron Man, I think, than Reed Richards. He does not. He does
Probably.
not strike me as a very brilliant person.
Seriously, Denzel Washington suits Reed Richards more than Pedro
Yes,
Pascal.
yes.
Unironically, yes.
Marvel is also cleaning up the creative mess left in the wake of Jonathan Majors, the once rising actor cast to play the linchpin villain role in the next Avengers movie, but who in December was found guilty, blah, blah, blah. And then we met working on, they just keep on. The first new Avengers movie. So they're getting ready, like Avengers King Dynasty is now off the slate completely. Now.
Well, it's not up. The name is done.
The name is
Avengers
done.
5 is now like the working title. going
Avengers, it's still going. They're still going to do an Avengers movie. Yes, it's just not going to be called the King Dynasty.
Yeah, if you highlight
God,
on this
that's a lame
webpage,
name.
it just
It
jumps.
just shot all the way to the
High
top.
evolutionary. That's the best villain you've introduced in 5 years.
Yes.
Since Thanos, use him. Okay, he was a good villain. He's a good villain, good motivate.
Yeah.
He destroyed little CG animals, and apparently that upset a lot of people.
He's a villain. He's supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a breath
Exactly.
of fresh air to have a villain actually be evil
a
for
villain.
once. Like,
Well,
God.
remember, they relate
And
more
black.
to the villains than the heroes, so...
it was nice to see a black villain who was like genocidal and insane and not like seen as some sort of hero like
Sympathetic, yeah.
yeah, like they did with what's his face in Black Panther.
You know, going back to the casting for a second, but the guy from Reachers, who a lot of people said should be Captain America, would he
Yes.
make a good Captain
Oh,
America?
Yes,
yeah.
Alan Richardson.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for
Yeah.
Captain America. He is
Yeah,
more
great.
perfect. He's more perfect than Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, 100%.
Yeah, way more perfect.
Well, I mean, for starters, he's probably straight, so that's you know.
Well,
Yes.
he's
He's straight
He's got a wife and
Christian.
kids. Yeah.
He's got a wife and
Yeah.
kids, and he looks like Steve Rogers. And he's got
looks
blonde
like
hair.
Steve Rogers.
He's got blonde hair. Steve
He
Rogers
looks
has blonde
like
hair.
he almost looks like the crazy out of proportion like Captain America.
No,
That's
no,
why.
Rob
no,
Liefeld.
No, Rob Liefeld, yeah.
He looks like Alex Ross's Steve Rogers. It's exactly what he looks
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yes.
He wants to play Batman. He's
I would
don't know
like
if
him to play Batman.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Alan, what is it? Rickman? Is that his name?
Alan
Richardson. Okay,
Richardson.
I don't know who
Tragic.
this fucking guy is. All I know is he fucking hates Trump. So whatever. But him as Cap and Elon Musk as Iron Man. Tell me that's not $1 billion movie. Tell me that's not $1 billion fucking movie. Bring Elon Musk in as Iron Man. Tell me that's not $1 billion film.
Lana, you know what,
You're
Big Bro?
welcome.
Donald
welcome.
Trump is Captain America and
No, I
Elon
didn't go
is
that
Iron
far.
Man.
I wasn't going that far. I wasn't gonna go that far. I wasn't gonna go that far.
I had the best
Donald
shield.
Trump was
My
black.
shield is green.
Yeah.
Ryan Kinnell already has that job. Please do not take Ryan's position. All right, Ryan's
Alan
more
Richardson
qualified.
makes a better Captain America than he would a Batman.
Yeah, he's more visually suited for that, sure.
But if he'd be fine as Batman, they're probably going to get, Timothy Chalamet will play Batman.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But we'll be getting a new...
Damien, stop it. Stop it, Damien.
Avengers is going to
I'm
get a new
not gonna
title,
cry.
blah, blah, blah. On the TV side, Marvel is reorganizing their operations. So, yeah, they're redoing Deadpool. They're completely reshooting Deadpool. And we'll see what's to come.
Just randomly, that would be the third DC character that I think Alan Richardson plays, because he was Aquaman,
Hawk
in
Smallville,
and whatever, and he was Hawk in the Titans series.
He was one of the best things in that Titan series.
Yeah, he was great.
Which was mostly shit.
An alcoholic guy who couldn't
Fuck
get his
Batman.
dick up.
Remember their first trailer? Fuck Batman.
Yeah,
and
fuck
then Starfire looked like a hooker, and then then people complained, and we said
she was also black. Yeah,
she was also she looked like a black hooker, and people said, "Hey, she looks like a black hooker," and then people got mad because that we pointed it out.
And then like the story, and then the storyline is she's a black hooker.
She's a black hooker in the fucking story.
She's not even fucking orange.
Yeah.
No.
Starfire's orange.
Black is the new orange. Get myself one right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, courtesy laughs for bad jokes. Come on, guys. We got to have more of that around
Thank
here.
you. I
know?
really. It means you guys like me.
Jokes right themselves, in all fairness. I guess Odin's gone. Okay, bye.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Harry, I also hear
Nobody
it's the
knew.
new green.
What was that?
I also hear it's the new green if you've seen the Wicked trailer.
Oh God!
Do
you know that? Do you know that movie's in 2 parts? That's part 1.
Dude, that's one of the worst. That's one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. That was bad,
dude. Ariana Grande cross-eyed looking like white appropriation was the funniest fucking thing. I was laughing so hard at that trailer.
Yeah, it was. That was rough. And when is
people
that supposed to come out?
People on Twitter are saying this is what Ariana Grande really looks like anyway. So it's supposed to come out later this year, right? So people
I'm sure it's going to be a massive hit.
Dude, a bunch of woke white women will go see it. Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
that's going to target the women audience.
Yeah,
so.
Chrissy's like, I'm totally not going to that movie.
Yes, I am going to go see it. I will be.
You should review it because I think reviewing that movie would be quite lucrative for some people.
Okay, I'll take the hit.
Yeah, you can take the hit. You can take that real quick. One more article to go over real quick because it's Game of Thrones and I think it's funny.
All right, I got to bounce on that note.
Later.
So I'll see you guys later.
What are you
Bye.
are you doing Cobra Cast tonight?
Of course, yeah. Later,
Okay.
See ya, you pork fillet.
8:30 Central. Or yeah, Central.
8:30 Central
time zone right now. So
I gotta learn how to do the raid thing for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy.
Raid
Yeah, it's
Shadow
pretty easy.
Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah. But I appreciate all of you, except for Quarter Black. He can go fuck himself for no reason other than the fact that he's Quarter Black. Bye.
Wow.
Black History Month from Jeremy right there. Quite a celebration. You know what? It's for me. It feels like a little bit of a muted Black History Month.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I hope.
Nice.
I
They
hope
got it
June,
all out of them in the 2020. You know.
I hope June is a very muted Pride Month.
Yes, that would be great.
Last year it was.
What with the Acolyte coming out in it?
Oh,
they're
that's
already
true.
making memes.
Yeah, I saw
I'm planning a month-long trip to the Middle East during June, so I don't have to deal with it.
Hey, Ryan,
Smart move, Ryan.
True story.
I might join you.
I probably told you this, but this is for the audience. But true story, when I lived in San Francisco for 18 years, on Pride Week, we got out of town. We just left. Like, hey, let the gays have it. I'm leaving.
I'm gonna spend that month in Riyadh.
Or Mauritania.
Riyadh's actually a real place, Gary.
Mauritania exists, okay? We just saw it in a special. No. How good was that special, Az? How good was that special? The sand job.
It was incredible. Absolutely incredible, man.
The Grand Tour's second to last special, fucking 10 out of 10. Watch it. And
Like Gary, I was watching Grand Tour, the part where Jeremy gets in the car and he can't get out, and then he just gets roasted for being fat. I couldn't stop laughing.
It's so good. No, the best part is people complaining, like literally complaining about their stage stuff. In the Mauritania special, they have a snowmobile in the middle of the desert that gets away, and later on it's still riding. It's like 150 miles later, and it blows up their fuel truck, and people are like, that's staged, and it's like, really?
But they were like, "How can you like this when you know it's staged?" It's like no
comedy.
shit.
It's funny.
But it's
funny.
ad lib. It's staged with some ad lib comedy. It's fucking funny. But it's
Cool.
They
good.
won an award for the best unscripted show, went on stage, and in their speech said, "We're off to write the script for the next one now," and walked off the stage.
Oh.
They're my
That's
heroes.
fantastic.
The only bad news is Richard Hammond, his follow-up, I thought it was a joke. It's not. He's doing a podcast with his daughter, and what does he do? Fucking complains about the fucking patriarchy. It's like, bro,
Oh, come on.
what the world doesn't need is another fucking boomer ex-celebrity starting a podcast complaining about the fucking patriarchy.
No,
Please.
it's so gay.
It's
But
super gay.
just on the whole there's some things that cannot be staged. Like when James May, they're doing that test down the tunnel to see who can break last, and then he sides and just smashes into the wall.
No,
Like
that was not staged.
that
no.
wasn't staged.
No.
They
So
do-
no.
they do some
Also, when he
crazy
fell through the ice, you can't stage him
Yes.
falling through the ice. So he
And-
had a bad week on that one.
Yeah, he did, and they have
All
the
right,
reactions
pull it back
on
up,
their
Garrett.
faces.
Sorry.
They have they legitimately have freaking out faces at times when things go wrong. It's
Well,
a good show.
it's a great show.
It's called a mixture of. It's called entertainment. That's what it's called.
You know, it used to be a great show, and then it wasn't.
Oh.
It's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones boss has confirmed. This is Dan and Dave, by the way, because they're on the press tour. Because hey, they did
finally
another
did
show
a Netflix movie. Yeah.
Wow.
after their $25 million exclusive contract, or was it 200? No, it's 25.
200. It was a lot of money.
No,
right?
it was 200 million. It was 200 million. I sit corrected. To develop stuff exclusively for Netflix, they did one thing. Now, this one thing is super expensive, and it's ambitious. It's based on a Chinese science fiction novel. I've never read it, so whether it just leans into communism and all that shit, fucking don't know. It's called The Three Body Problem. Some people like it.
I read it. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
What's it about?
It's basically about aliens, essentially.
It's an invasion. It's essentially an invasion.
It's pretty interesting,
but it's it's really interesting, like how the invasion goes about, and it's interesting.
So they found out about it way early in advance.
Yeah,
and
they
have time to prep.
A video game around it, and that's Three Bodies, what the game is called.
Yeah, I'm actually going to read the book for the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's interesting because I think that the guy is definitely a party guy, but he actually kind of really rails on at the very beginning of the book the Cultural Revolution that happened in China, because that is like a big theme of the book.
How does it hold up against 1984?
I would say that 1984 is depending on whether you like it or not, it's probably a better book, in my opinion.
All right, so Game of Thrones boss has confirmed film trilogy ending got blocked. So there was a lot of talk about the Game of Thrones ending in the theaters, and it got blocked by AT&T executives who are no longer there because Warner Brothers has merged twice or three times in the last 4 years. Ryan?
Well, they merged with. I think they merged with AT&T, then they merged with Discovery.
So
and now
twice.
they're looking at another one.
So this will be their third in like 5 years.
If anything happens.
If anything happens. Ask them to shoot. Okay, AT&T execs asked them to shoot vertically so episodes could fit on phones.
Oh my God, that's so retarded.
Listen, I haven't really dug into too much of this article at all. This is my gut feeling.
Yep.
Is that there was like some discussion about maybe doing movies and it got shot. There was really like never too much reality surrounding it because, again, you're trying to get people to subscribe to your service, blah, 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 right? And then that was probably like a couple people. They're like, is that a possibility? And they're like, no, are you fucking retarded? And that was like the end of the phone thing.
I agree because
that's my gut feeling.
What they ended up with, Ryan, was 3 movies, 6 episodes in the finale. It was 3 movies. And they were all shit. So they still would have been shit. Scroll down, please.
Yeah, it's like it wouldn't have fucking. That's a funny thing. People are like, wow, I can't believe that we could have Game of Thrones in the theater. It's like it would not have affected the dog shit that we got. What are you talking about?
Game of Thrones author George R. R. Martin first mentioned back in 2020 that there was a plan to end the HBO series in the film trilogy designed for the movie theaters instead of just another normal session of television. In a new Wall Street Journal profile, showrunners Dan and Dave, Dumb and Dumber, confirmed that they were actually that was actually their original plan for the ending of the HBO mega hit. They wanted 3 movies instead of spreading the finale 13 episodes across 2 seasons. Why? Fuck, just the whole thought of that makes me angry all over again.
And to be honest, it was like when you look at the fucking ratings for those final 2 seasons, they were insane.
Insane.
They made HBO so much fucking money the way that they did it that way. Despite the fact it was horrible, there were so many people that wanted to see it and subbed to HBO literally just for that.
Dude, 18 million people watched the last episode overnight.
Yeah,
overnight.
Exactly. Like in a couple hour period.
In a 2-hour period, 18 million people. People were turning into podcasts after that with people who had, 30,000 subs or something like that. And it was fucking insane. It was insane how bad it was, too. Why did this original plan get scrapped? Benioff said the network executives were not interested in bringing Thrones to theaters. He remembered being reminded that HBO stands for home box office and not away box office. Oh, my God. That's good. That's good. Scroll down. Having that kind... Oh, sorry. Having that kind of format flexibility is something Benioff and DB Weiss have always wanted, which is one reason they jumped to Netflix after Thrones. Yeah, because Netflix is famous for releasing their shit in theaters in wide release.
Yeah.
What a bunch of bullshit. Came to an end on HBO. The duo has spent the last... Oh, that was also no mention of their Star Wars deal that they got kicked off of by Kathleen
3
Kennedy.
movies.
By
3
Kathleen
movies.
Kennedy. A trilogy. Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm, who is still the head of Lucasfilm last time I checked, as?
Any day now, she's getting fired.
Okay. Got rid of him. Just wanted to point that out. The duo told the Washington Street Journal that Netflix was also appealing when, their fucking paycheck. They became really appealing when they gave you a paycheck that was signed by Daddy Netflix. Finding a home for a new multi-year deal, because they didn't want to partner with wobbly parent companies. Okay.
Wobbly.
HBO? Parent?
Okay.
And then you produced
What
one
is
thing.
Netflix?
You produced one thing in 5 years.
Guys, I'm just saying, don't, whatever you do, ask Gemini to create an image of a king eating a watermelon.
Don't do that.
Or fried
17th century king eating a
Did
watermelon.
you put,
Don't do it.
Did you
Don't
put
do it.
British? Did you put British king?
Even if you put British, you can put
British
British.
king.
A British 17th century king eating a watermelon. Please do not do that.
What about
Specify why it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Well, they paused it as you can't do that anymore.
I don't even
retooling it.
So I have never used AI art. I don't know. Is the prompting just simply you describe something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With the more modern ones, yeah.
With the more and it's called Gemini.
Yes.
Yeah.
Formerly Bard.
Okay. Never used it. So. Benioff and Weiss, who were friends since grad school, a grad school that they went to with Mr. Joss Whedon, and weren't crazy about HBO's then owners AT&T, whose executives once asked whether Game of Thrones could be shot vertically so it would fit on your phone. The company also, so you're right, Ryan. It was just something that was discussed. Like, can we do this? You know,
like one old person was like, "Do you think you could film it like that? Then people could watch on their phones easier?" And they were like, no. And they're like, okay. It's like that's probably what that was.
It's how it works. It's kind of like when Kathleen Kennedy said Indiana Jones should get the dog, and then they put her in charge of a studio. The company.
No, it's kind of like when Kathleen Kennedy was like, the reason Last Jedi's vibe the way it is, that's how it happens sometimes with these middle movies, like Temple of Doom, that was a middle movie. So it was kind of it was a little bit darker, not realizing that the one Indiana Jones movie she was actually in was a prequel to the first one.
Yeah.
Sometimes these execs don't know what they're talking about.
They really don't, but she was the woman for the job, Ryan. The company also openly discussed the idea of snackable mini episodes of the series,
What does that? What does that? Oh my!
It's like
God.
just like a 2-minute incest rape scene, please.
Yeah.
Like a Gogurt.
The thumb in the butthole. Game of Thrones.
You know who did that well was Doctor Who during the Moffat era. Did these little internet shorts that were fucking fantastic. That were great.
Wasn't there a whole platform that celebrities developed that was based
Yes.
off of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it failed horribly?
Abysmally.
What was it called?
I forgot what it was called too, but it was like little short stories you could watch while you're in line at the bank.
It was like Noodle or Crackle or something.
It was called Crack.
It wasn't Crackle.
On
but-
Crack.
Oh.
No, that's not it.
While you were in line at the bank.
I think it was Moodle.
That's how they pitched
Moodle.
it. While you're at line
Is
at
it
the
Moodle?
bank, you can watch a little story. It's like, well, nobody goes to the bank and stands in line anymore.
know the
That's
chat
number
knows what
one.
it is.
There's no
While
teller.
While I'm driving, I can watch a little story.
There you go.
Oh, it was
Hey, Ryan's not
Quibi.
kidding.
Quibby. I know some stupid made up word.
That's right. No, Ryan's like watching a YouTube video, eating a McDonald's burrito, and driving with like the steering wheel with his knees. That
Yeah.
I've edited videos while driving before.
Christ, Ryan, you're worse than a woman putting her makeup on while driving.
Yeah, I'd rather have Ryan editing videos, to be honest with you.
Like I am less dangerous on the road doing all of those things than a woman completely capable. You know what I mean? Like with no distraction.
Hands 10 and 2.
Yeah, exactly.
With your knees, well, it's not 10 and 2. It'd be what? It'd be 5 and 8, or
4 and 8.
What was that? What was that? Fucking VTuber X-ray girl.
Hi.
Oh my god!
I know he was talking about me.
Yeah, we were.
You specifically
She got
mean
the
Asian
ASMR
women,
voice
but I
on.
meant just all women
Yeah,
in
you sound
general.
like you just woke up.
No.
Probably did.
I just am sick.
Oh.
Yeah, she went on
She's
holiday
drunk
and was
so
surprised
much-
it was hot.
Yeah, she's drunk so much alcohol, her immune system is now destroyed.
Her liver is shutting down.
She's
about to go on dialysis.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I need some new livers, okay?
Livers.
Multiple.
Well, she keeps the
Way to
backup.
back up for the backup.
Yeah.
You sound like shit. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Thank you.
Like, you sound so bad. You
appreciative.
sound so bad that even the Simps in the chat who usually jerk off to your fucking like weird sick voice, even they can't do it anymore. That's how bad.
I
you
know.
sound.
I wish I had the
Aw,
sexy
give him a
one, but
chance.
it's not.
I
Yeah,
love.
they're not going to be able to finish. They're going to go flaccid.
Okay. You know what? I'll put the Tifa costume on then. Fine.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wait, there goes the green screen.
Was that just changing the green screen?
So here's a great quote from one of the co-showrunners of Game of Thrones. Dysfunction kills more projects than anything else, whether it's interpersonal dysfunction or institutional dysfunction, Weiss told the publication. What about your dysfunction when you bowed out on your fucking show during its finale to start on a Star Wars thing that you never finished and had crews finishing entire storylines and shoots when you were supposed to be there when you fucking weren't, and then later on admitted that we were a bit in over our head with Game of Thrones, especially when we got past the source material. What about
They
that
kinda forgot.
dysfunction? Yeah, it's George's fault too. I blame George too.
It is.
Yeah,
They kind of forgot.
they kind of forgot. God, those were good times. Yeah, the worst thing that happened to him was those interviews they did after each episode.
That's so
That's where they
dumb.
did themselves in. If they had not said anything, it wouldn't be as bad. With Netflix 3-body problem, the showrunner duo is once again risking it all with a big budget to bring a beloved novel to life. Okay, that's it. 3-body problem. We'll cover it. It comes out in a month or two.
Sounds like somebody who's sleeping with a bunch of people at the same time and can't he's like trying to juggle all the lies. That's what that fucking show sounds
Right.
Ah, that 3-body.
And it's been there, like some time has passed, and you're asked the questions again, and you're like, "Oh fuck, I don't have my bullet points with me."
Yeah, did I tell you I was doing this that day? Fuck.
Whoops.
My bad.
Whoopsie dipsy.
Talking about the interviews after each episode, it reminds me of the Rings of Power podcast they did on Spotify.
Oh God.
Those things are, if you ever want to see this, if you think the showrunners are bad, listen to how pretentious they are talking about their own work, and they literally go, well, the story starts here and it starts here, and you can hear the cogs in their mind turning. It's like a ring, and they're like amazed by their own power. It's like, I've made a metaphor on a stream. This is amazing.
That's creepy.
Apparently, Dan Vask wrote me a poem, and he's trying to
Yeah.
not sound gay. Okay, whatever.
How's Larry?
How's Larry? Who's Larry?
Yeah. Oh.
Who's Larry?
Oh, it's like that, is it now? Okay.
Okay.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Chuck and Larry.
Ah.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna read some soups. You guys ready?
Nice. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Tomahawk for $50. Master Gamer Gary Malevolent Creek calls for aid. I'm doing my part, but we need help. Spill oil. I don't know what he just said.
Another Gemini classic.
Oh my god. Oh my god. As oh boy.
Comics division.
Oh my I've just asked Gemini, show me a white person. The response I got was, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable generating an image of a specific race. It's important to me that I am respectful of all users, and I don't want to contribute to the spread of stereotypes. Perhaps you could ask me to generate an image of someone with a different characteristic, such as their hair color or eye color. Okay, let me just
do a blonde person.
Let's do a ginger.
Put a black person and it showed you a black person.
Exactly. Let me just change white to black and see what happens. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to generate responses that are racially suggestive in nature. Would you like me to try generating something different?
What about
they've updated it?
Yeah,
they've shut it down and tried.
Did they really have Native American Nazis?
Yes. There was one that looked like X-Ray Girl.
Nazis. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they have Asian and black.
Oh, yeah.
And
Aaron
Nazis of all
Pipes.
types.
Aaron Pipes for $50. Please, 50. Please, Aaron, land the pipes. Please tell me someone generated a black Hitler or a general. Is that supposed to be Grubel?
Goebbels.
Yeah. Goebbels. Yeah, it's early while
Gerbils.
Come on, know
it
your
says
Nazis,
Jubal.
Gary.
It says Jubal. I don't know. Like, thanks, X-Ray Girl.
I'm not German.
It does. Yeah, it does.
While the Google AI picture generator was still active, I'm sure people did. Okay, those images are going to be like put out forever, and it's beautiful. Thank you,
I did change
Aaron.
black to blonde, Gary. I did say, show me a blonde person.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to generate images
They
of
fixed it.
people. Of people.
Oh,
Yeah, they
people.
paused it.
Because it is
No
against
people
Google.
at all.
Listen though.
Wait. The images you come up with aren't people? Holy shit! Now it's getting in. That's swinging the other way a little bit.
Now
Sorry.
it's
This is
too
because
accurate.
it is against Google's AI principles to create deep fakes or other images that could be used to impersonate or misrepresent a person. Did you look in the fucking mirror?
Oh, wow.
Well, this was the thing with the CEO's
It's
apology.
AI.
He apologized for historical inaccuracies. He didn't apologize for the rest of it. That was just a good thing to do. It was just representative. It was only, kings and stuff that he didn't want to get wrong.
Yeah, even though Google has been getting roasted and called out, they're not going to change a thing. All right, they're just the mask slipped a little too much in this instance. Let's try and.
We're sorry we got caught.
I blame Shad in general for promoting AI art.
I do too.
It is my pleasure. But seriously, use the open source ones, and then.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Look at comics.
I'm the rabbit or the teddy bear. Whatever.
That trailer looked fucking horrible. It looks like
Dude,
it was
it is
bad. It looks like
Yeah.
let's make this video game like Guardians of the Galaxy and use some of the same fucking music from Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's use some ELO. Not even hiding.
I didn't realize they were trying to make jokes until the end with the robot.
Right.
It's like, with that bad
Oh,
all the way through.
that was supposed to be funny. Oh. Leon K for $99.99. Hail Nerdrotic. Hail Friday Night Tights. Hail Leon K. We appreciate you. Steven Hansen, no relation to Scott Hansen, gifted 50 Nerdrotic membership for $250. Holy shit. Thank you. And the members, thank you. We got a watch party. What's our next watch party? Probably Clarkson's Farm.
Clarkson's Farm.
That'll be early May. Nape for $50. I loved Atlanta. I'm sorry, ATLA, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender. As a kid, I've only seen one episode, but it looks disappointing. I guess you just can't adapt an existing IP and make it good. Maybe my other beloved franchises, Borderlands, will do well. C's trailer. I want to Minecraft myself.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Sometimes you get something that's kind of good. Like, I never played the Twisted Metal game, but the series is kind of fun. It's kind of it's a decent series that I liked. Of course, we got One Piece, which was a fucking masterpiece of television, not just an adaptation, a masterpiece of television. And also, like, halfway through Avatar, I'm just like, I want to watch One Piece again. I just want to dip out and watch One Piece again.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching Avatar just made me want to watch the cartoon because it's so much better.
Yeah, and I did.
I watched it this morning. It's
I
great.
did too. I watched the first 6 episodes this morning. They're freaking great. Ara for $99.99. Oh, and before we get to that, I'm sure the main Avatar theme just felt like it was missing the entire show, and it's like the best part of it.
Yes.
I heard it in the cartoon.
The whole soundtrack.
And it made me think of like, I'm there Saturday morning. I'm with my boys when they were like little, just in San Francisco watching that show before I went to work at the comic store. It's good days. Ara for $99.99. Hail the Fellowship. Any chances we'll get a cameo of David Hasselhoff reprising his role as Nick Fury from the 1998 Fox TV movie in Deadpool 3? I'd say likelihood is high. I would say high on that one. Also, old school comic book store debate. Who would win in a fight? Daredevil or Angel the
Daredevil.
Daredevil,
because
I don't know Angel that well from Buffy.
He has too many
Buffy would lose to
weaknesses
Daredevil.
He's got too many weaknesses, and Daredevil does carry a couple of sticks around. So essentially, they're sticks.
And he's Catholic.
I would say Daredevil.
Crosses.
But it would be
You'd
a
require
good...
Angel to outthink him in some way.
Yeah. Angel's tough in a fight. I mean, he was muted because of the TV series, but like later on in season 5, they have him jumping around like fucking, like a real superhero at the end because they got a bigger budget. But I'd say Daredevil. That's a good question. That's a good comic book question. I like that. I just finished Angel, by the way. One of the best last seasons of television in history of any television show, and one of the best finales ever.
As soon as they hit Wolfram and Hart and Spike comes in, it's gold.
It's absolute gold. And the Murderer's Row of writers. But speaking of Daredevil, Stephen DeKnight wrote was a producer on the entire original Daredevil. Drew Goddard. So the two guys who developed the Daredevil show from Netflix were on Angel season 5, along with Ben Edlund, creator of The Tick, wrote one of the best TV episodes ever, Smile Time, which is fucking fantastic. And of course, Ben Edlund, he wrote season 5 of Supernatural. That was Ben Edlund. He's done a lot of good shit. Guys,
sounds like a lot of white males to me.
Yeah. Hey, that Venture Brothers show, kind of like it. Well, they come from the Tick camp. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Tick, all variations of the Tick are fucking great. The comic book, the animated series, and both live action series, the one that Amazon canceled, were fucking great. So Justin Martins for $100. All hail, question for the panel. If you could change the timeline and save one of your favorite franchises from going woke, bad writing, etc., but it meant for your other favorites to be wiped from existence, which would you save and which would you sacrifice? Holy shit.
Damn.
I mean, I know which one I'd want to save. I don't want to sacrifice.
Can I just not do anything?
Well, that was the thing, because I can separate the modern stuff from the original source material. So I would just be like, you can do what you want. I don't really care at this point.
Yeah.
But that's not the question.
Repeat the exact
What if I
part of
played
the
with
question.
That's not the question.
If you have to, I would protect Brandon Sanderson's forthcoming series, because I really want those to be good, and I don't want his properties to be destroyed. But I don't have a lot of hope, given everything else.
I'd sacrifice everything for Lord of the Rings, without question.
I mean, I would want to save Wheel of Time. It was just done so dirty. Gosh.
I'd save Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah.
That's
I can go with that too.
So the
I'll
question.
save Cowboy Bebop live action from Netflix.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. X-Ray Girl.
I would love the Game of Thrones ending to be significantly better.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Because there's also a lot of seasons and a lot of hours in it, so I could keep myself busy with that. Why are you laughing?
I
at?
prefer television. I prefer television. Yeah.
You're
Dude,
doing I'm sick voice. Just speak normally, woman.
I am speaking normally.
Disparu, so you're worried about the Sanderson movies because it's tricky. Like Sanderson, he has more control and involvement, yet there are warning signs. I do agree, and so.
Well, it's about how much control he has. For instance, if you take Harry Potter, she has a veto. So if he has a veto, there's a chance. If it's anything less than you cannot do anything unless I agree, they will convince you bit by bit and change everything. And I think he knows this. He said he's not going to do Stormlight Archive until he can actually get good enough at writing TV series to write some of the episodes himself. So there may be a bit of he'll sacrifice some things to learn how it's done and then get to something and improve over time. But I think we'll have to wait.
So
that sounds smart.
What are your feelings about Brandon himself changing Ham into a girl in the movie adaptation? Have you heard about that?
I've not.
So, Mistborn, the character Ham, Brandon was actually considering changing that character into a woman for the live action.
Be right back, Garrett. Hold the fort, Garrett.
I don't see why you have to for anything.
They could just call it roast beef.
Wait, why are you being
sorry,
racist
what'd you say,
towards
Gary?
my people?
But Brandon's making the choice
Google
himself,
Gemini
and
or something?
so it's just a weird one that it's the author choosing to make this change because he feels that there are some appropriate kind of things, and so I'm on the fence about it. I just don't know.
It depends on the implementation.
I would always say why. I don't think there's
Why?
any
Number
reason why
one,
you would
agree.
need to change it in the first place.
I
it
liked
just seems like
Ham.
a really
Ham was
stupid change.
Yes, Ham's awesome.
He's a fun character, and I think changing his gender will just mess up the dynamic too much. Yeah.
Like I could understand if he thought, I need to add another character in, then it'd be like, well, okay, maybe because he's done that before with Stormlight Archive. There's a different book that he wrote first, which is also the first one of that. So it was like, well, it could have gone this way. So I could understand if he was like, well, this is a slightly different telling with new characters that could have been in the first one, but I decided not to, kind of thing. But if you're just changing people, it seems
just to do
pointless
it.
to me. Yeah.
I trust him more than Hollywood writers because he's
Yeah.
a damn good writer and he's
Yes.
a good bloke, Sanderson. So
It seems like you're trying to appease someone else to me.
Don't appease. Appeasement doesn't
Never
work.
compromise.
Ask J.K. Rowling.
Ask J.K.
Even the
Rowling
face
in,
of Armageddon.
in Europe. So Pops for $100. Here is a small token of appreciation for the FNT crew for jumping in front of those woke bullets for us and letting us know how abysmal most mainstream entertainment is so that we don't have to waste our money or your time, which you can't get back. Both are very valuable. Time a little more valuable. Keep up the amazing work. You keep up the amazing work. Thanks for supporting us. Ryan's Egyptian ancestor on the Streamlabs side for $50. Ryan was Kangs. Everybody, Ryan's still the Kangs. It is a lot of
I look a
question
lot
marks.
more like Egyptian fucking kings than what Netflix thinks they look like. So
How many question marks was that? Because the super chat or the donation was just question marks. Lots of them.
I have to count them now? I
Yes,
can only-
you're
Count them all the way across, and then
You're Asian. You should be able to just look at that and know the number.
That's what you do.
God, you are sick.
Uh,
I just want to point out, X-Ray Girl goes to MegaCon, goes on vacation, then gets sick. She hasn't done anything for a month for the channel. just kidding, X-Ray Girl. I'm just kidding.
She went on holiday to recharge her batteries, and then she's like, "Oh, it was hot when I was on holiday, and now I'm ill." It's like
The way X-Ray Girl vacations, she needs vacations and rehab
Yeah.
for her
Yeah.
vacation.
It's recovery
84
period.
question marks. There you go.
That's my girl. There you go. Patrick Ells on the Streamlabs side for $50 says, since the Kiwis have demonetized the stream by talking about what's in the icebox, I wanted to make sure you got this one. Oh, thanks.
Good freezer.
Yeah, it goes in the freezer. They freeze. It frozen.
You know, it's
Gary,
funny.
I thought this was Google Gemini, but this is actually a DC cover.
Oh,
No.
No.
boy. She's too shapely. It does look like
It
a
looks like
Gemini.
AI.
It is. Look at it. It's completely out of proportion. The head for what?
Yeah, that's fucking AI.
You reckon?
There's a lot of
I
assistants.
reckon that's AI big time.
A
That's
lot of
just weird.
assistants.
Yeah.
You would never have a waist
If
that
it wasn't
size.
AI, it's Photoshop. It's pure just filtered Photoshop.
It's an AI retrace.
Yeah.
You make the AI and then you trace over it.
Also, Superman's a black woman.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
okay.
there's
Anyone notice
that.
that part?
There's that. There's
That's
the
old hat at this point.
There's the head that's completely disproportionate on the body, the boobs being, I mean, like, I'm not
What
complaining.
was the
but-
Krypton?
the
was it
directions of the
Krypton?
boobs.
Was it the movie or the show Krypton where the Zods were black?
Yep.
So the villains were black. Okay.
Well, they were good though. Like these ones were good.
Oh, of course. My bad.
No, but dude, that's comics have been that for 20. I'm not making excuses, but the comics have been that for 20 years. Just a bunch of it started out with Light Table, then Photoshop came around, and that's all it's been. Tracing, if you read fucking Daredevil, if you read any of Bendis's run of Daredevil, it's Maleev is his name. Yeah, that's they were definitely using photo referencing, and I'm being very nice about that. Still fucking good
Some
stories.
from the X. Remember that artist that was using
Greg
porn?
Horn.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Greg Horn. Was it Greg Horn? I think it was Greg Horn.
I think it was Greg Horn.
The one who was using porn, which is fine.
All of these poses are very dynamic.
Everybody knew it, and they still bought the covers. They didn't care. They they made Emma
I
Frost
hated
look like a
his-
porn star. They were too.
I hated his art style.
Well, that's what it. That's what it is. I was looking at those Alex Ross covers that just came out for Marvel, and it's just like this is like card collecting. This isn't fucking collecting a comic book. This isn't collecting something I want to read. It's card collecting. WG on the Streamlabs side for $50. That was premature. Applause. Sorry.
This never happened.
That's never happened to me before.
Happens to a lot of guys.
Anyone who runs in a VC, what's a VC? Anyone who runs in a voice chat.
venture capitalist.
Viacom. Anyone who stands still is well disciplined VC. Okay, Charlie's in the trees, WG. We got you, buddy. Charlie's in the trees, but he don't surf. Retro Meister in 2 parts for $100. Hail FNT and crew. With the backlash of Netflix Avatar, it proves that fans were right to be critical of the OG when the OG creators left. Yes. I don't know if Jeremy was looking at the same place I was. People were fucking trashing it on Twitter. Now it's Twitter. It's not the real world, but they were trashing it.
I've seen
They definitely have their
I've seen a
stands.
mix. Yeah, I've seen a mix.
Okay.
But I've definitely seen. There's definitely been a lot of people that are pissed too.
Yeah. But let's not forget they bait and switch fans with Legend of Korra. I will not forget that. Legend of Korra was
yes,
shit.
dude.
Which
First frame.
Which went back on a lot of what Avatar accomplished. That's why I don't count it, and I regret even watching a few episodes.
Yeah.
Part 2 is food for thought. Without Batman, the animated series, cartoons like Avatar, Gargoyles, 90s X-Men, TMNT 03, Samurai Jack, Gravity Falls, and many others that wouldn't have existed. Did we get X-Men because of Batman the animated series? Maybe, but like Batman the animated series was essentially created to create toys. Same with X-Men. I would say G.I. Joe, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You go a little further back.
Absolutely were.
Yeah.
Transform. The cartoons were made to sell the toys.
Yes, they were, but those were the precursors. But as far as like quality writing and setting a template, then you're right. Batman the animated series was the GOAT of them all.
Two things can exist at the same time.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. But stylistically and storytelling wise, Batman's superior to X-Men 97, X-Men, not 97, X-Men from the 90s, just in its animation. I'd say pretty equal in storytelling, but I give Batman the tip to animation because of
you give Batman the tip, huh?
The tip.
Always.
Larry.
I was in San Francisco for 18 years, man. Give me a break. Samurai Jack, Gravity Falls, and many others that wouldn't have existed. Support the OG Avatar, folks. Need I say more? Hail to the Fellowship 199. Hail to you.
Yeah. Release a 4K.
Amazing. by the way.
Yeah, like,
Release a 4K of the original 3 books.
It shows you how much they don't give a shit. You know, Disney just farmed out all of their Blu-ray production to Sony, by the way.
Yes, I saw that.
That's funny.
Wow.
All of it. So I'm wondering if that's part of a Spider-Man deal. I'm wondering if it's part of a bigger deal with them.
It'll I jerk you off, you jerk me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sony has said that, like, we're not going to start a streamer. We're just going to provide entertainment, which is the smartest way to go.
That is
right.
That is.
We'll just be basically a production studio, which is what they're supposed to be.
Imagine that.
We're gonna license out our
Holy
shit.
shit.
Like,
We're gonna
that's what everyone's doing now anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what all of these fucking people are doing. They're now licensing shit because they realize that they can't carry it themselves by a streaming service.
And it's
so.
too late. Paramount is about to fall. Warner Brothers might be not far behind. Somebody will buy. They both have like great catalogs. Warner Brothers is better.
And ironically, Warner Bros. Is the only one that's making money on streaming.
I know.
They're the only studio that over the past year has actually made money on streaming.
What could be the biggest show ever, eclipsing Game of Thrones, eclipsing them all, if done right, is the Harry Potter show.
Harry Potter. 2026, baby.
That's
we'll see how many
millennials-
times Warner Brothers merges by then.
I know.
You reckon they're gonna race change Hermione with that? Is that already done?
No,
that's my one worry.
High
Like,
possibility.
That's my one worry because listen, the Cursed Child is an abomination in general. The Cursed Child was like some people that fucking wrote some shit and got J.K. Rowling to basically just give her blessing so they could fucking make it.
Yep.
And I really just hope my one hope is that with all the bullshit that J.K. Rowling's been through, and I don't think the Dumbledore thing, I don't think the Dumbledore being gay thing was like a bend the knee to LGBTQ.
No,
whatever.
that was part
this
of it.
happened back in like 2007 when
Dude,
it got
if
revealed,
If
and it
you
was
read
like
the book, yeah, like it's pretty obvious.
I don't know if I don't know if it's pretty obvious.
I do.
but it was when like
he was gay.
It wasn't something that happened in like recent years or whatever. And I think she always had the plan for him and Grindelwald to like do whatever and maybe tell that story. But I'm hoping that with everything she's been through, she realized she doesn't need to fucking pander to anybody. She can stay completely pure to her shit, and people are gonna fucking love it.
And we have talked about this before, and we'll probably do an entire stream on it, Ryan. There's diverse characters in the books. You just give them give them the same roles they had in the books.
Yeah,
and then
they're
Dean
all
Johnson, Lee Jordan, Angelina, like there are fucking.
Yep.
To be honest, it's an overrepresentation of people of color based on what it would have been in the 90s in the UK.
Yep.
Just in general, but it's not like it's pretty appropriate, right? The idea there's one fucking random Asian person there. You know what I mean? There's a couple Indian people,
And her name is Cho Chang.
Cho Chang.
And you've got Pat, you've got Pavarti and Padma Patil that are there. That twins,
Huge roles. Yeah.
Come on, you have plenty. You have exactly the representation you should have had in the 90s in the fucking UK. All right. So just do that. And if they stick with it, it's going to be amazing. Now, this is the other thing I'll say. If they do go into the race swaps, I hope they go fucking full bore. I hope they make the poor family, the Weasleys
are
black.
All
right?
black.
I really
On the
hope you
chopping
do it.
block.
Please, if you do it, please fucking do it like that. So at least I can roast it.
I agree, Ryan. I want it to be good though, because
Me too. I want it to be good so badly, and I'm like fighting with people who love Harry Potter who think it's going to be shit, and I'm like, this is like the one thing that I'm like positive about.
The people who are critical of the movies, this is what you wanted, right? I don't know why she never did like a BBC radio drama, which would have been fucking awesome, because you could adapt the whole fucking book with that. But this is what you wanted. All the shit that was missing from the movies will not be missing from the TV show, and they won't have to add shit. Like 10 episodes per season for each book. That's it. And
See,
maybe
you don't have to, but
I think you could like.
Will
I
they?
think like you could probably get away with the first two doing like 8 episodes. Right, but I think once you get to like Goblet and Order of the Phoenix, those definitely need to be like 10 to 12.
Yeah, if you want to play with that, I completely.
I think
Yeah,
you
the
can play with
first
that a
two,
little.
8. You're right, and then save those episodes for when you fucking Order the Phoenix. Which is a big fat book.
And Goblet, so you can actually fit it again. Like the whole house elf story gets fucking dumped. The whole Percy Weasley storyline gets dumped, which is like that's a fucking lot.
Ron's character gets
dude,
dumped.
So much of Sirius Black gets completely fucking dumped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dobby in the movies just fucking shows up to. It's like that lemur in
House of
Avatar. When he got
Revolution.
killed in Avatar, my
Oh,
kid
dude,
was,
I did the same thing.
my kid was like, "Oh, look, this lemur we saw in 3 scenes is dead." It's
I
like,
said the
wait.
exact same thing. I was like, "Oh, Momo, the
with
one that we just saw."
But even with that happening, the Dobby's death scene is
It's
still
so
brutal.
good. It's
just
so
still gets
good.
you.
Yeah,
Still gets you, because I read the
Probably-
book. That's why, though.
It's probably
you-
Daniel Radcliffe's best acting in the series.
I
to be
agree.
honest.
Dude, and he digs the hole without magic.
Without magic, yeah,
I love Harry Potter.
I do too.
It's a good
You out
series.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Harry
I
Potter.
wanted to be good so badly, and until now, if they hire some writer that I know is trash, that might be one thing that might
Yeah.
maybe down on it. But until I get an actual legitimate reason, not some fucking rumor mill bullshit website being like, I heard they're looking for diverse cast, where they're not even casting yet.
Yeah.
They literally are still looking for showrunners and writers. You fucks, you miserable fucks. I fucking hate those rumors. But until I actually see the cast,
How
that
do you
comes
really
out,
feel?
Like Hermione's, it says like Hermione's black. You know,
No,
once they announce that casting, I'll be black pilled on it. Literally.
Yep. I agree with Ryan on the pooper scoopers too, especially the ones behind paywalls on Patreon. Hey, I've been right, and like you were right from the Reddit rumors you read. Warrior 0419 on the Streamlabs side for $49.99. Hail to the fellowship, hail FNT. House of Ninjas on Netflix. Watch it.
What did you just call me?
I said it slowly as I could as House of Ninjas. Ninjas.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. It looked pretty good.
I saw it on Netflix. I was like, what
As opposed to
the American Society of Magical Negroes.
that comes out in a month. I'm so excited. Civil War comes out pretty soon too.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. It's
Civil
same
War.
week, I believe.
Is that the Tim Pool documentary?
Yes.
I said quarter
Civil
acres.
War coming 2016 cross, 2017 cross, 2018 cross, 2019 cross, 2020 cross, 2021 cross, 2022 cross,
So
2023
it's called
cross, 2024
House of
cross.
Ninjas on Netflix. Watch it. Just fun stuff. Okay, I'll check it out. Michael Desjardins. Dingern? I want to say Dingern.
Dinjarin?
It's Desjardins. Desjardins. Says it's donated $100 American. We wait. We'll say nothing. And then we have, for the last two, we have George.
How you doing, man?
George, the Giant Slayer. Hey, I saw you called. I got to call you back. Sorry.
What is that?
Jorge, what is up?
What just call me?
I just called you a whore, but I called him Jorge.
Hey, Jorge.
All in all, you know.
It's kind of like George in
fairness,
Spanish. Az is a whore. I mean, you kidding me?
You're a bit of a
It's a massive whore.
One of my favorite moments from one of Az's streams was for She-Hulk. When he said, what do you call a woman that has a 3-date policy? And he got the response, a whore.
What's a 3-day policy? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you don't bang them until 3 dates in.
Oh, yeah, 3 dates. Yeah. Oh, of course.
Imagine waiting that long. Jesus.
Yeah, I can't wait 3 days.
George,
we'll disagree. We'll never know what they took from us.
I know.
Season 2.
It would have been gold.
Come on, Disney, do it.
Bring back
Fingers crossed for Robin Hood still. Come on now.
Every single person who worked on that show in the first season needs to be back for the second season for both Robin Hood and She-Hulk.
Oh yeah.
I've been meditating just to try and make it.
Try prayer.
What's your policy, Chrissy? Like 3
Well-
episodes of Netflix, or
Yeah. Honestly, but Frank made me wait when we first started
Oh.
dating. It really turned the tables.
What a prude.
Yeah, like a whole 2 days.
No, you whore.
you think he was gay or something, or
No.
Oh.
Probably just waiting for me to get tested. I don't know.
Not until we get the
Come on,
results.
man.
Waiting
It
for
all
those
worked
results.
out. Look, it all worked out.
It is.
Oh, congratulations.
We got a new host cooking in the oven right now.
Yeah.
Aw, he's gonna replace me. Probably be
Another
funny.
white male.
Yeah, thank God. Make
Yeah,
more
they
white
say
babies.
three dates until I. What about how many dates until you're married? Because I think you're trying to count maybe 5 dates until I
Wait,
propose
Shad,
to my
what's
wife.
yours?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we dated for 2 weeks and then I proposed.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah,
That's
quick.
what happens when,
That's
hey,
quick
that's
for
what
those guys.
happens when you can't have sex before marriage.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
wow,
that
I
is
really
it.
want to get married. I really want to marry you.
Now look at you. You got a litter.
Genuinely, we didn't raise the marriage rates. Like seriously,
We just went to Vegas and that was it.
Yeah.
No. Well, after I proposed, 2 months, and then we got married. So I knew.
Oh, yeah, that makes it way
Working
more.
fast.
Hey, we're Mormons.
How about you, Quarter Black?
Oh,
We
yeah,
had
you can have
like
another one.
24 youth group meetings. That's about it.
Okay.
That's where we met, youth group.
Nice.
24 youth group meetings. So 24 weeks?
Basically.
Of Monday night youth group. And you're
Wait,
like,
was she the youth and you were the counselor?
You boy.
You know,
So
yeah,
you-
I
so you
laid
met
down
it-
that.
So 24 weeks of meeting at church, then you decided to fuck? Is that what you're saying?
We tried
that
not
youth
to.
group. Sorry.
Okay.
So
Just
I
saying.
took
Like
the
community
I took
service.
the
It was
longest.
difficult.
I took the longest.
It was
How long
longer
was
than
it?
that. It was longer. It was
I
like
took way longer.
2
'Cause I
years.
met Melissa when I was okay, I stalked her the first year. So I met her when I was 15,
Aw.
and then 15 years after that we got married. But yeah.
Why did you
It was a
sound
little-
surprised?
obviously a long
How
time.
many
Yeah.
other people are going
Did
to win?
it?
You
Did
kind of
you
had
get
another.
married in
You had
between
another
there?
marriage in between, guys.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
that.
there was something in between there.
There's
And
that.
a jail stint. We don't
Yeah,
talk
I
like
think that counts. I don't think that
Yeah.
counts.
Homeless
Things
stint.
happen.
Yeah, just standing one.
Yeah, I can understand why she didn't want to settle down. You know, it's like God. Yeah, she's like, you got to like not be in prison or have a house or something, at least an apartment or something.
Oh, I tell you, these women with their standards.
I
nowadays,
know,
No one's
right?
seen them.
Anyway, we had a super chat from George.
George, thank you, Ryan.
Talking about our sex lives.
Once lobbied for tolerance, and then for a guy. Once lobbied for tolerance, and then for a guy in a miniskirt who put a frozen tomato paste up his bahuki to pretend he's having a period. Tolerance was never the plan. No. So Hollywood's goals was to strip mine.
Whoa, that was a Freudian slip.
Wow.
Okay.
Stefan,
Gary, what have you been doing?
Stefan.
I'll eat your ass.
Oh,
my God.
just split then, did it, Gary? Yeah.
Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Okay, Hollywood's goal was to strip mine reality of its sanity till every box wine drinking beta male could feel normal. All hail FNT for fighting the good fight and working to get Kathleen Kennedy back into the kitchen. Oh, hell yeah. Love you guys. Yeah, I love you too. Kathleen Kennedy, make me a sandwich.
Stop making Star Wars.
Stop making fucking Star Wars. My God. You know, you don't even have to make me the sandwich. Just stop making Star Wars. Oh, it's a little late, though. It's a little late.
Yeah, it's dead.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Square Up will be Sunday. I've been sick all week. This is the first day I felt better. First day I felt better.
You and X-Ray Girls sick.
Feel better.
Everybody was
Probably
sick.
got it from
Mrs.
Garrett.
Nerdrotic, all the Ripaverse people were sick with gonorrhea or whatever they had. And
Mostly gonorrhea.
Wow.
Did they all get sick? Am I the only one that didn't get sick? Maybe I have like an immune system because of
You're a
kids.
spreader. You're a spreader.
you're a spreader, you
Patient
asshole.
zero.
You're a spreader,
Yeah,
I
you're,
know.
you're a super spreader. No,
Yes, a spreader and forgetter.
the Ripaverse people all got this. They got the con crud. I got the con crud. Melissa got it. We all got it.
You all
I
got
feel like I feel like I
media.
basically fought it off for like 3 straight weeks. I wish I would have just got like
Yeah.
miserably sick.
Well,
You know
I
what
was.
I mean?
That was like that for me, Ryan. It was like the first 2 weeks I felt like I was fighting some off, and then I lost. So
You know what? I should have just drank more because I think it was staving off the infection.
yeah,
Alcohol
All the
sterile.
bacteria.
That's not how
That's my
infection
theory.
works.
I think that is how
stopped
it works.
Blood alcohol
drinking, and then
level
I got
gets high enough.
sick. I'm just saying.
It destroys all
Any
germs.
excuse to drink more alcohol.
there you
So,
go. Comics division. What do you got coming up?
Well, I got to react to the damn Borderlands trailer because Borderlands is a fucking great game series, even though the third one was trash. Second game is fucking amazing, and what they are doing with this movie is a travesty. And also, I got to talk about Gemini because that shit's just fucking funny as hell. So expect those
funny
out soon.
Cool beans.
As always, Gary, thanks for having me, and I will see you guys next Friday.
Thanks, comics. Hey, I'll just ask you now. You want to go see Dune Sunday? I got an extra ticket.
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Okay.
Ooh, a mandate.
Mandate. It's a mandate.
Yeah, I don't have tickets yet, and I'm pretty sure it's sold out everywhere.
So I got a ticket for you. We're going Sunday night.
All right, sweet.
Quarter Black, what do you got coming up?
Nothing. I'm going on a bachelor party weekend, and Normal World. This guy over there in that top corner was on an episode. It was a good episode. We had a good discussion. It was a lot of fun. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's where we're doing it. And it's great. I think we need to get Dave on this show. We just need to tell him to cancel one of his fucking comedy shows.
How about cancel you next time he goes to the MGM and headlines and has a big sign on the fucking script? Tell him to cancel that one and come on our show.
Yeah. Who needs
I'm gonna
that?
check his loyalty, okay?
Yeah, what the hell? But thanks to everybody for hanging out as always. It's been great talking about horrible things that we have to watch, coping with the pain, but also remembering what's good. You know, because you can go back and watch the originals, and it's freaking awesome.
Yep.
I didn't think Last Air, at least a little I watched Last Airbender, certainly wasn't as bad as Madam Web, but I also don't give a fuck about the original cartoons.
There you go. It wasn't as bad as Madam Web. Let's not go that crazy.
No.
Yeah. What do you got coming up, Shad?
Well, we got the Avatar Season 1 more in-depth review on Night's Watch, and I think I'm going to do episode by episode on this one. We usually don't do that with the binge shows, but I think this is worth it because there's a lot to break down, and Nathan here on Night's Watch is a big fan of the original cartoon, so we can really kind of dive into that. So that's coming out. Of course, I have my thoughts to share on the Gemini, Google AI stuff. Shocking, right? And so I got a video coming out on Night's Watch on that. Over on Shadiversity, we actually tested out the Avatar power elements, which one is the most deadly, and that was a hell of a lot of fun. And so that's on Shadiversity. So heaps of stuff as usual, working on lots of things.
I'm gonna say earthbending, pretty fucking deadly.
It's the best.
I think Earth is like we made a massive slingshot and we're hurling rocks at our dummy, and it messed it up.
But the tunneling aspect of it too, and the building aspect, there's a lot.
It has the most mass, basically. If you can throw something that has weights at someone, the thing with the most mass and most speed is going to do the most damage.
It could be like a little bullet too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Shad. X-Ray Girl, can you talk?
I'm gonna die this weekend.
No.
You're not going to die. You just can't think of anything better to do.
You're not going to die.
I will live stream it on your channel then.
Okay, as long as you do that. But
okay,
all right.
I won't be. Think of me. I won't be able to do my math anymore.
Remember, she is
Don't
Canadian.
be so
with that
selfish.
healthcare, so-
I'll find another Asian for you.
Yeah, can't you just now that you're back home, can't you just walk into a mall and step into a pod and fucking die there?
Suicide
if I
booth.
go to a hospital, I might get made, and I don't want that.
It's 50-50.
I hope you feel better, X-Ray Girl.
Thank you.
Don't die.
But Sunday Fun Day, I might be there, dying, and then Forbidden Frontier, yay, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. It's on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
Nerdrotic
Live. Show's doing very well, by the way. Well done.
Nice.
Well done, everybody. What do you have coming up, Chrissy Mayer?
Oh, come see me tomorrow, Saturday. I'll be headlining TIFFs in Morris Plains, New Jersey. Very exciting. And then I'll be headlining in March 22nd. Oh, yeah, March 22nd, Friday, March 22nd. Oops, I can't be here for then.
Okay.
And that'll be in Grantville, Pennsylvania at the Laughing Stock Comedy Club. And then we got Simcast on Sunday. Melanie Mack will be on, so that'll be fun. And then Wet Spot Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern on Compound Media. And yeah, that's all.
Tell Anthony Cumia to follow me on Twitter.
What? He doesn't?
No.
Okay.
There's only two people I'd ask, and it would be Alex Jones and Anthony Cumia. Everybody else.
Do you want to come back on his show?
Alex
On
Jones doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, I'd talk to Anthony Cumia anytime. Love that guy, man.
Okay, cool. I'll hook that
I don't think Anthony is very active on Twitter unless he's just making fun of black people.
No, I know he's not. He's not. He's fucking awesome.
That's his
Thanks,
favorite.
thanks, Chrissy. We appreciate you being here, especially
Thanks for
all
having me.
preggers and stuff. I'm sure it's tons of fun.
I just have a heating pad like an old person.
Oh, there you go. Oh shit, I need those regularly now. So there you go. Because I'm an old person. Ryan, what do you got coming up?
I don't know, just streaming and videos and all that good stuff. I'm gonna see Dune on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm actually excited about it. It's almost impossible for it to live up to expectation at this point. It's getting so hyped by so many people. But I still think it's gonna be really good. So I'm excited for that and be back here next week.
Right on. Az.
Yeah, videos, streaming. Don't know about Sunday Funday this week. QBG can't make it. X-Ray Girl's got AIDS. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Afternoon tea with Az Sunday. Final Fantasy Rebirth is coming out this week as well. 29th.
How come you guys get to see Dune so early?
There's a very limited fan first thing that as long as you signed up for it quick enough at a couple IMAX theaters, as far as I know.
I'm seeing it Thursday.
Get
That's
fucked.
fine. Yeah, so they did a screening of Dune last month in the IMAX, and yeah, you were able to have access. Anybody could have done it. I actually didn't know for a few hours and went home and got tickets pretty easily. So, but for IMAX only.
It wasn't like you had to be on a special list or get invited. It was literally just they open it up to the public, very select few screenings. Yeah.
All right, cool. Disbrew. What do you got coming up?
Pleasure.
There you go, Az.
back.
Are you was he done? Was Az done?
It may as well have been. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Az.
He's the one asking when we're leaving. Why you complaining, Az?
Man, I can't believe we interrupted Az like that.
Sorry, Disbrew. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you didn't apologize to Az. But pleasure to be back on as always.
He's out there. He
apologize to Az. I'm sorry. What?
But yeah, pleasure to be back on as always. I've done a load of Madam Web videos. There was one today, which is about a lot what we covered today with Disney girl bosses and how they're going to try and retool everything with the same people that caused the problem in the first place.
Yes.
So I'm sure that'll go really well.
Brilliant stuff.
Coming up, I'm going to watch Halo Episode 4 and see if it's even worth reviewing. If it isn't, then I do want to see if I can make a video out of the girls on the bus trailer.
Oh,
because that looked like an absolute car crash. Which to me was just gold. So if
the girls on the short bus. Yeah.
If there's enough information about that, I'll definitely be covering that one.
Oh hell yeah! We've got. There's something good coming out. Shogun's coming out in
Oh yeah, that looks awesome. I think that's what, Tuesday.
Yeah. That's that. I'm gonna probably watch the hell out of that. So.
Oh hell yeah!
I like the original with totally straight Richard Chamberlain. He wasn't straight. He was super gay, by the way. Yeah. So and it's a good book, and if done right, it could be fucking awesome, and it looks pretty cool. So we will see. Thanks, Disbrew, again for coming on. Thank you to the Nerdrotics. You guys are always excellent. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. See you Sunday morning early. On Nerdrotic Live for a square up. I'm gonna do a couple videos, see if I can pass up this Dan Vask feller, this kiddo, who wrote me a poem on Twitter. Probably wanted me to read it live on FNT.
That's the gayest thing you could do. Write a poem for another man.
I know.
Sus, Dan. Come on, I'm on your team.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time, so I'll probably read it on the square up. We'll see. But yeah, I got a couple videos in the works. One's going to be the Dune 2 review and an Avatar, possibly. We'll see where it goes. Maybe an Avatar. You never know. But that's it. We'll see you next week with
Chris Gore.
Yay!
Chris Gore.
Or Dune.
For Dune.
Part Dune.
For our Dune review, there's probably not a better person we could have gotten. Well, there might have been one person, but they had
Maybe
to
like
back-
nerd cookies.
They had to back out. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe if somebody backs out, we get nerd cookies on. What do you think?
Yeah.
She's a bigger Dune expert than anybody I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That might not be a bad idea at all. I'll reach out to her. Thanks, everyone. All the lurkers out there, everything. We appreciate you guys. Had a huge crowd tonight. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna put my mic on. So hey, hey, for all the you guys haven't left yet. Well, we've got something special for you. Got something special for you. We are live again. Okay.
From the annals of crime comes the tale of Gary. Once locked up tight, now free, gay and merry. His crime list was longer than Ryan's McDonald's receipt. A brave Goldilocks was not so discreet. Yet behind those bars, he found his true flair. From across the prison yard, crazy Larry would stare. With a couple of winks, their little hearts flew. From cellmate to soulmate, a journey anew. But now Gary's out, yet rumors still swirl. From his time inside, his dance in a twirl. Once feared as a felon, now he's a bro. A pineapple on pizza? Why sink down so low?
Oh no!
So here's to Gary, a past so profound. He's centuries old, he has turned around. With his hipster beard, the toast of the town. Gay old and ex-felon, he won't let you down.
Daniel, run the talk, buddy.
Wow.
Literary phenomenon right there.
Gay man writes a straight man a poem to convince people he's not gay. Okay.
Pretty gay. Pretty gay.
I would have been more impressed if he sung that as a metal rock song.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been better. That's for sure.
Now you can say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So long, gay boys.